Damn. I was just prepping for the collab stream and suddenly Nate Civil just dropped a jump scare on me with a sub. Thank you for the sub, Nate Civil, but that was so... Ow. Ow. Too loud. That was far too loud for me. I have to lower the volume a bit more. Oh. I have no idea what a hype train is, but I guess that's a fun thing. Cyborg Assassin, hello. It is nice to see you all, the Western lurkers, managed to make it for this stream. This is a very unusual time, admittedly. But it is what it is because it's a collab. Can you hear me properly, by the way? Should be able to hear me properly. Good. Here's what I'm gonna do. How am I going to structure this collab stream? In about 10 minutes, I'll start off first. You probably already know who I'm collabing with right now, isn't it? It's pretty obvious already. I already made an announcement about who I'm collabing with. So it's Occo, Momma Occo, as many would call her. Morocco. That's funny. Well, some lurkers may not know Occo. Okay, Occo is a bit of a... I mean it in a very nice way, because I am also like this sometimes. A bit of a gossiping housewife type of VTuber. Literally, the description is accurate because that's really how she talks about things, and how I talk about things also. Basically, we are gossiping housewives, or gossiping aunties. No housewife, aunties, gossiping aunties. Well, that really depends. We'll see. It's nice to always have a collab stream where it's just a lot of chatting and not really a lot of gaming. Not a lot of gaming, but let's hope the topics are engaging for me. And my topics are engaging for Momma Occo. I should not have said that word. I should not have said that word. Oh no. I should not have said that word already. Already it's gonna be taken out of context. It's a figure of speech, lurkers. It's a figure of speech. 09 is a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. You always do these things. But fine, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But about 7 minutes. Let me have a look at a little something. Let me have a look at something. Hold on. I want to see if Momma Occo has started her stream as well. Or it's just me for now. Let me have a look. Oh yes, she also started her stream. That's nice. Roy, belated about Valentine's Day, but it's nice that you're wishing Valentine's Day. Appreciate it. Okay, she has also started her stream already. That's good. Let's have a little peek and have a look.
I imagine that some people would be into that kind of thing. I don't know. Have I ever had pilk? Probably not.
Ah, she
Probably
started,
not,
okay.
if I'm going to be honest with you.
Give it about 5 more minutes before we officially connect the call.
I cannot wait to ask them about this meme. I'm sure that it is a beautiful meme that they are super duper excited to talk about. Anyway, chat. You know what's crazy? So I'm in the middle of a 60-day work.
Kirby Fan 4, thank you for the 5. Hi Benmin, I followed you for a while and was pleasantly super you're collabing with Occo. Looking forward to watching the stream rotting my brain. Why do you expect it to be rotting your brain? Something scuffed. There we go. There we go. Why do you expect this stream to rot your brain? Kirby Fan 4. Anyway, okay. Just wanted to have a little spy to see what Occo is up to. Oh, Small. Oh yeah, Small. Yo, Benmin, I'm feeling a little... Small. You just drop into chat and you already disappointed me. This is so disappointing. Yes, you aim to please. Of course you do. You aim to please who? I'm sure you're not aiming to please me. So who are you going to please? Okay, 4 more minutes. Maybe in the last 4 minutes I'll do a bit of housekeeping per se. I have a plan for the next 2 streams after this collab, and maybe at the end of the collab I will run through it with you all so you all know what to expect. Okay? And it's soonish. The next stream after this one is quite soon, and the stream after that one is... Well, let's just say I got invited to another collab again in the stream after the next one. And since the timing is fine, I will likely be joining another collab. But you probably know who it is. But that is something I will talk to you all later. Or now. Maybe now. Whoops, sorry. Or do I want to talk about it now? No, it's probably too rushed. It's probably too rushed to talk about it now. Talk about it after the collab. Okay? That's a good point. I haven't actually had a collab with Small and Strong before. I am still very inexperienced with the whole collab structure of streaming. Zero, you predicted correctly. Yes, Rat has offered me to join a big party stream again. And I told him that I'll have to have a look at the dates, and it looks like for now that the dates will work for me. So that's good. He was the first one to collab with Lurker-chan, he was the first one to collab with me actually. That's right. Remember the TF2 collab some time back? And he was also the... Let me think. He was the first one to collab with me, and he was also the second one. But the second one was a bit like a party collab, so it was like a whole bunch of VTubers together doing some cursed Team Fortress games. Everything looks so messy right now, but I hope it's all fine when everything's properly set up. Oh, small and strong. Yeah. There's actually... Maybe I can set up a... Maybe we can collab next month. If we are lucky, we can collab next month. Next month or April, either of them. I think I have a bit more flexibility for that. Anyway, it's time for the call. It is time for the call. Hold on, I'm going to contact Occo right now and see whether she is ready. Okay? It's already 10 minutes and I'm gonna start. Start. Ayane, shut up. Hello?
How are you doing today?
Hello. I am doing good. The audio is a bit low. Let me set it up higher.
Oh, my apologies. I am just perpetually quiet to all of my friends.
Oh.
You have to turn me up to like 2 million.
Okay. Chad, can you listen to Occo? Can you hear her voice?
Hopefully so.
No? Zero?
No?
Too quiet? Yeah, you might need to raise your volume just a bit more. I'll see what I can do as
Is that
well.
better?
That
might be a little bit better.
Okay, should be a bit better. Let me try. Let's talk. Okay,
My
how about
cat's
now?
going slightly crazy right now.
Oh, why? Why? I'm going to have a look at your chat since...
Audio's perfect. Oh, that's good. Oh, they're just really excited to see you.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
I am flattered. Oh yeah, I'm very low res right now on your stream.
Yes.
It'll take a while.
I'm not sure how to fix that with
It'll
video.
take a while. I think it'll take a while. It's just an internet issue.
Okay.
480p lady.
So
that's funny. That is so...
That's hilarious.
Have a look at your chat since...
Holy shit. Well, let's see. I think it's like the very beginning of the day for you where you are, right?
Okay, so... I think some lurkers might not have heard of you, but I've introduced you to them, so now they have a general idea of who you are already. So do you want to say hello to my chat? Just say
hello, chat. Welcome. What do you call your
lurkers.
Audience?
Yeah, I call them lurkers. There's quite a bit of lore behind why I call them lurkers. On Twitter, a lot of people on Twitter just ask me, why do you call them lurkers? They don't lurk. They actively post and spam comments on your posts. Why do you call them lurkers? It's a very, very long story.
I'm very interested in it. I always ask my new friends how they name their audiences, and whenever people tell me they don't have one, I'm like, well, you can't let your audience name itself, because then you'll get what Rima had when Rima let her audience name themselves.
I remember
now they're just
that.
the cloppers.
I remember that, yes. Well, I guess the backstory is that when I started off on Facebook many years ago.
Yeah.
And back then, it is quite rare to see Facebook posts where people actually leave comments. Back in the old days, most of the comments you get are either taggings. So if you posted something that's a funny meme, all you'll see in the comments are people tagging each other, which is not really comments, it's just tagging people. And the rest and the other comments is people who normally just insult you because you posted something cringe in their opinion. So it's always two of those things. And for quite a few years, all I really got if I posted something is like a react. So now Facebook has all kinds of reacts like likes, heart, laugh and all that things. But last time it was just a like. So they just like and do nothing else. And they lurk, for the lack of a better term. So I just call them lurkers.
Oh, fair
but
enough.
now it's not
Fair enough,
very... now their behavior is not very lurker anymore. But the name stuck.
I see.
The name stuck.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's very perfect. Well, what's funny is you talk about starting on Facebook. I first started streaming like professionally. I did actually start streaming to Facebook, and what I did is I started streaming around 8 a.m. my time, and my main audience was mostly Filipinos because of the time of day that I streamed. So I started, I got up to. Oh, go ahead.
No, just continue. Finish your story.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So I had a Facebook for a while. Unfortunately, I deleted it because it used to be connected to my personal Facebook account, and then when I deleted that, I forgot that it was connected to my page. But I used to like stream to Facebook, and I know that Facebook is still kind of like if you're not in America, Facebook is still very powerful as a streaming tool. But because nobody in America uses it, I mostly just don't use it anymore.
Exactly right. What I wanted to say is that a lot of Americans and Westerners kind of take Facebook as the boomer book or take the place for granted. It's like it doesn't have any influence. It's not popular. No one uses it, but that's that's very untrue actually, because most Asian countries use Facebook. There's no question about it.
Oh yeah.
So, but mostly it's Southeast Asians who use Facebook. A lot of Southeast Asians. And the biggest mistake that I think that a Western online poster would make is to make fun of... Someone just subbed to me. Jack Hero 1, thank you for the sub. And my sound effect is a bit loud, so I get interrupted randomly. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing my story is I'm probably certain you remember the whole incident with Hogwarts Legacy, right?
Yes, I do. I like to talk about that whenever somebody brings it up.
Yeah, but there is a bit of a little additional story. There was one specific bully on Twitter who tried to go after who? I can't remember her name at the top of my head. Damn it. Hololive in...
Was it Silverveil?
No, Hololive ID.
Oh.
I have to remember her name.
Fuck,
I have to remember her name. I remember her name, but
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Hold on, I have to get the name. I have to get the name. Well, it was a Hololive Indonesia talent, and basically she announced that Kobo, that's right. Thank you, Ultra Guy Kobo.
Okay.
Yeah. She announced she was going to play Hogwarts Legacy, so like what Pikami did, but she went through with it. And there was one tweet that came up that went very, very viral on Facebook. It was something along the lines of one of the Western Twitter, the usual Twitter users that bully people. They say that we came after Pikami, we'll come after Kobo, or something along the lines of that.
Oh my gosh.
And
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and the thing about that is...
You will have nothing and you
the thing about that
write
is... Remember, I think that Twitter account regretted it a lot because what happened afterwards is an army went after this account. An army of
No.
Southeast Asians went after this account. And you know why they went after this account? This tweet went viral on Facebook.
Oh no.
Very, very viral.
That's the
And
worst
obviously,
place.
yeah, and obviously they did not take kindly to someone threatening Kobo. The original post bringing up this Twitter user threatening Kobo was, I think, thousands of comments, thousands of reactions, and thousands of shares. And not long after, as you probably would remember, or you don't, but I saw it happen in real time, the account went private.
That tends to be the finality for a good chunk of these accounts. They just end up going private and slinking away into obscurity.
So the biggest mistake you can ever have is to, firstly, already a big mistake by itself if you threaten someone or you bully someone online, as in completely unprovoked bullying. That's already the big mistake number one. And the second biggest mistake is that you target Asians, Southeast Asians especially.
Sorry, I'm laughing because it's just funny to imagine one Western man versus Southeast. That is a bad idea.
Actually, to be fair to the Western Twitter users, two tried this. One went private and disengaged very quickly, and the other one did it a bit longer, but eventually I think his account got suspended.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I have no pity for those people who started it because what they said was quite inexcusable. One of them, as I said before, we went after Pikami, we'll go after Kobo too. And the second one is, people who play the wizard game deserve to be bullied, and it's my pleasure to bully them. That is a direct quote from another account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Marina one of the ones? Because I know that Marina said something similar, but didn't directly call out for bullying.
Yes, Marina did not direct. If I recall correctly, okay, I'll preface this by saying, if I recall correctly, she did not directly call for the bullying, but what she did do is that she downplayed the things that happened and pretended some things did not happen.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember that. I think Rev even covered that as well.
Yeah. And I will also remember there was another incident that Marina held not long after a very specific tragic incident. I won't bring it up, but you probably might know what it is about. Marina started up some event not long after some tragic incident. It was like in the same around the same day or the same week.
Yeah. Wasn't it a charity?
It's like, I have no idea what it is. Like some donathon or something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah. I think it was a charity. If I remember correctly, I think it was a charity. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I recall it's something like that. It was an event. It was meant to be some kind of like a big streaming event. And it was not in very good taste, evidently. And let's just leave it at that. Because, yeah, if we talk about it, it's going to be a bit too spicy for YouTube.
Fair enough. Oh, fair enough.
But I think most of my lurkers know what it's referring to, and I think your chat also has a decent idea what it's referring to, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, I can guarantee, cause the first when Under the Tea first started, right before it was called Under the Tea, our very second stream, the first one that I got on was all about Taiga and Marina And Marina actually gets on our stream and starts justifying it and then apologizing. Well, quote unquote apologizing for it. So I know Marina very well in terms of everything that she has done, and I occasionally look back and see what's going on with her. Not much these days.
I did recall.
I think if
I did recall. I'm not sure who reported. I think Rima reported it, but I think there was some big serious incident with Marina's little clique, and it kind of fractured for one reason or another.
Yeah. Was it Rainbow VT? Because we
Rainbow
on,
VT. That's right.
The
Rainbow VT. Yeah, Rainbow VT.
Yeah.
That's right. You reported on it. That's right. You reported on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, I think the 10th episode that we did is just talking about them. So let me see here. I'll search up on this. I'm pretty sure it was like the first video on our VT Rainbow Exposed. That was our first stream on our stream channel, and it was talking all about how they shut down and how all of the talents talked about the abuse that happened in there. I do remember that.
Yep. This is... I don't know why it's such a... I would not have expected it back in the past that it's such a big rule of existence, but there's this saying that's becoming more and more true and less of a fallacy. The more you try to lecture someone, the more you try to hide. Something along the lines of that. It really... I'm not sure why. Is it some kind of... I'm not sure whether it's some kind of like a coping mechanism or trying to offset their own skeletons by pretending to be very moral and good. It's wild to me.
What, for the people that...
Yeah, the people who virtue signal the
heavily
hardest. Yeah, the one who virtue signal the hardest tend to end up being outed for the worst things imaginable, that even worse than what they accuse other people of doing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always kind of crazy. I mean, like, here, the crazy, it happens all the time. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of our podcast, is just getting on and laughing at how people moralize about things. I think even when it came to, oh man, there's been some, just with all the lolly stuff recently as well. So the Earth Updates account, I'm sure you talked about them at the very least a little bit. I deliberately chose to only talk about it briefly because Earth Updates has done all my work for me with the way they post. So I was like, there's nothing else for me to add. They proved my point way back. It is well. And I did bring up some interesting point about Earth Updates. When I heard the Twitter space on Earth Updates, and I saw the way he reacted to the various people who joined in and asked him questions, it reminded me of a very specific individual. He's quite obscure individual, but I'm sure Metal could talk about him at length. It was someone called Bathtub Ross. Yes, Bathtub Ross. Yes,
He behaves like Bathtub
of the Bathtub Ross. Yes.
When I saw Earth Updates screeched the way he did and acted the way he did, it's like, Bathtub Ross, is that you? Of course it's not him because the voice is noticeably different, but his behavior is almost one-to-one.
Yeah, well, isn't Bathtub Ross also in prison right now as well?
Yeah, I think so. He got caught. That's right.
Yeah. So
one of my chatters asked who is Bathtub Ross, and you can look up his history yourself, but it's not a nice story. Let's just leave it at that.
No. So if I remember correctly, and I'm planning to rewatch the Bathtub Ross Chronicles from Mr. Medicare, but essentially Medicare happened upon this guy that was like in a stream talking about how he was a child predator, and he was like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting," and decided to start listening, and then got in call with them, and it was a whole big expose, and he showed off a whole bunch of depravity. It was kind of sad.
I watched Metalcast streams and I heard what Ross says in response to Metalcast questions, and I'm like, I can't believe you admit all of these things as if it's so natural to you.
Yeah. It was very bewildering. But going back to what you were saying about how people are preaching, hiding what they preach about the most, it was really crazy to see, one, that our Earth Updates had a Discord server that had underage people, and two, that he was trying to downplay it. Like, the moment I saw that, I was like, dude, the clock didn't even need to be set. This man reset the clock, like, within less than 24 hours of, like, schizoing out. It was insane.
That I've seen a lot of this happening, that I've almost kind of created and thought of a name to describe this type of behavior, but it's called the Dr. Pizza effect. I call it the Dr. Pizza effect because the first real high-profile incident of something like this, where someone just goes on and on about how terrible anime is and how think of the fictional characters type of thing, and he got outed for doing very, very terrible things. It was a journalist, and his Twitter handle is Dr. Pizza.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's basically the mascot for this type of behavior. Him alongside EDP.
Oh yeah. Is EDP still alive? Because I thought he had like an organ failure thing going on, like a liver or something.
I wouldn't know, honestly. I only know of his reputation. I don't follow him.
Fair enough. To quote Mr. Hyde, no in real life. Oh gosh, damn. Are you familiar with Sam Hyde at all?
Oh yes, I am.
Oh, good.
I see his stuff off and on, and if there was one thing that current year iDubbbz got kind of right, is that Sam's kind of approach to humor is very, in my opinion, confusing.
Oh, I agree.
It's almost esoteric. It's almost like esoteric in a way, his type of approach to humor. But he still,
I would agree
when
with
I
that.
see him on video, sometimes he makes me laugh, but I just feel like it's like he knows something that none of us are unaware of, type of thing.
Do you have like a favorite piece of content by Sam Hyde? I'm curious.
I mean, it's kind of normie for me in a way, but I thought
fair enough.
I thought his open letter to Elon Musk was quite funny. When he,
I agree.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Whenever he brings up Asmongold and Moist Critical, I just can't help but laugh. It's like Sam knows. He knows mentioning those names is going to help spread a message.
So I have a question for you. Did you ever watch the Sam Hyde documentary about iDubbbz, where like they both got together and because Sam Hyde figured out really quickly that iDubbbz was planning to basically trick him, and he was just like, okay, we're gonna punk him back. Did you ever watch that?
Yep. Yes, I did watch that. I watched iDubbbz's take on it, and I also watched a fair bit of Sam Hyde's take on it, and that is very true. Sam Hyde knows when a smear piece is coming his way. It's also quite obvious coming from iDubbbz that he's planning to do a smear piece on Sam, and that's true. He basically did Sam basically did every single thing to kind of quote unquote prove Ian was right. And at the end, at the very end, he just pulls the rug on him, and that's the comedy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I completely forgot about this. Okay. So on the topic of iDubbbz, did you know that iDubbbz is planning another creator clash?
I recall I have seen tweets being shared around by him. They are being quote tweeting his wife, saying about the creator clash.
Yeah.
So I am aware that he's organizing something akin to that. But from my past experience, this creator clash is, other than iDubbbz, there are many other people who are like, you see them, you instantly know who they are. But I think this creator clash is less a creator clash and more like almost like a networking type of thing, in my opinion, for smaller creators. That's the idea I got from it.
So iDubbbz released a 10-minute video, well, 9 minutes and 10 seconds, but basically a 10-minute video talking about Creator Clash 3. I have not reacted to it yet because I've been saving it. Would you like to watch this? I've heard people talk about it, and I've heard that it is a beautiful trash fire.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right.
Definitely, I'll have a look at that. Let's see. How do we play?
So, I will let you know right now, my audio, because I use an audio mixer that's very weird, is a little rough. So the audio is going to come through my microphone.
Okay.
Just letting you know in advance.
Okay.
It's
I'll
weird.
watch it on yours.
Oh.
Maybe I'll also run it on my stream for my lurkers to see it as well. In case they're not in case they're not on your stream. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah. I did stream it to Discord.
Okay. Creator Clash is back 10 days ago, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I will try
it was,
and
10
set.
days ago.
I will let my lurkers watch it as well. Now, hold on.
Okay, sounds good.
There we go. Tell me when you start playing. I'll play it on my side too.
All right, and then I'll tell you at what points that I paused. All right, and you can tell me if you want to pause at any point as well, so that we can talk about it.
Okay.
This is fantastic.
Okay. Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Can you hear that? I think it's supposed to spin. Oh, it is spinning. Creator Clash is back. Tickets are available down below. Okay, this wasn't as epic as I thought it was going to be. It's quite beautiful.
Here. This is fantastic. Oh, chat, I am so sorry you didn't get to see it. Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
This isn't as epic as I thought it would be. Oh. He has no idea. Or maybe... Yep, we pause it and let's keep going.
After the man. Ah! Jesus Christ. How do I kill it? Before I tell you guys whether I'm fighting or not, I want to give some context as to what makes Creator Clash special to me and why we have to bring it back. Because I've been teasing things like a Creator Clash documentary. And I think I disappointed a lot of people because you're like, where the fuck is that? Well, I'll get into that. Now, this whole thing started with a beef between me and Rice Scum. That sounds a little stupid, but sometimes stupid idea.
I want a Creator Clash documentary. That sounds fantastic.
Oh, that would be funny, especially the behind-the-scenes things, because I heavily suspect that this Creator Clash thing is large amounts of nepotism.
Well,
personal friends trying to get... Yep, continue.
Oh, my apologies. You know how the first two went, right?
Roughly.
Okay. So the first one made $1.5 million for charity. Absolutely amazing. Fantastic. They gave a lot of money to charity. The second time around, they lost $250,000, and he had to get on stream and try and beg people to donate so that he could pay into a charity.
Oh boy. How do you lose 200K?
Yeah.
Where did that 200K go to?
I'll tell you. It went towards buying out an entire hotel. It went towards a bigger arena. It also $20,000 per fighter went into just paying them so that they could fight. He spent a shit ton of money on stuff that he didn't have to do. Not only that, like he only got half of the pay-per-views than he did from the first one, and this one was like supposed to be a much bigger deal. So like it was bad.
One of my lurkers really has no chill for IDubbbz. He say, "What's going on? Are you guys going to make a wish for this poor guy?"
We might have to. We need to make a wish a charity boxing campaign.
That is shocking. I'll tell you later about something that I remember at the top of my head, but we'll finish this IDubbbz thing first. Okay?
Okay. I'm pausing at 43.
Okay.
Get into that. Now, this whole thing started with a beef between me and Rice Gum. That sounds a little stupid, but sometimes stupid ideas turn into awesome events.
Right hand the Harley goes down.
The theory I had 3 years ago when trying to promote Creator Clash 1 is the same theory I have today. I think the single most important element of an influencer boxing event is the mystery component. Obviously, you gotta have, you know, popular influencers. Maybe it's important to have a little drama, a little beef. But what I think makes influencer boxing interesting at its core is the mystery. Who's gonna train, who's not gonna train, and what does their particular background contribute to the outcome of the fight? At one point in this video, I do say that I'll eventually make a documentary. We're all getting punched in the head. I'm documenting the whole thing. There will eventually be a documentary about the boxing event. I'm just gonna be real with you. That was the biggest lie I ever told. But seriously, I was intending to make a documentary. It just, I didn't know what was going to be important. I just have like 100 hours of me sparring and shadow boxing in like 4K. It's the most boring shit ever. That's not a documentary. I don't know why I ever thought that was a documentary. I'm not even joking. There's like folders on folders of me doing this. Like, is that a narrative? No, I'm an idiot. I never thought to like whip out my phone after an important meeting or important phone call and be like, "We just secured the venue, guys. Epic Mealtime is dealing with a really traumatic hernia right now, and I'm not sure if we're gonna have a heavyweight fight." We're really scared, and those aren't the things that you really want to pop out the camera for and be like, "This is what's happening." The first event went off without a hitch. I was so amazed by the amount of people who showed up. It was loud from the moment the doors opened to the moment they closed. Matt Watson and Dad just killed it and just set the whole thing off. And to top it all off, we raised $1.3 million for charity. That was the best event of my life, and I wanted to do that again. Now, for the second year, we didn't do as well financially. That's putting it lightly. We didn't anticipate the pay-per-view sales to be as bad as they were. Piracy was a little bit of an issue. The feedback that I had been receiving over the past year is like, just not enough advertising. A lot of people didn't know about it, and they wanted to know about the event, and they would have bought tickets. We're gonna try really hard this year.
Correct. Not only did they not, they didn't advertise it at all. None of like the influencers talked about them being in it, period, until basically the week of.
That is very, very...
So...
I don't know what to say about that. Marketing is important as the foundation. You can't just have no marketing. That is a mistake.
I agree. Like just get like part of, in my personal opinion, if you got to get the influencers to like, if they're getting paid $20,000 per influencer, they got to do at least a little bit of marketing, saying and showing off what they're doing. So the part of the problem is nobody knew. One, nobody knew it was happening. Two, I don't think most people know who the people are that he got into. Like, I could probably spot a couple of people but like half of the people that this man has on the roster, even this year, I have absolutely no idea who they are. So wasn't the Odd Ones out in Creator Clash too? Yeah, but you don't know what he looks like beyond the cartoon, so you really don't. Seeing him, it doesn't really impact you that much, in my personal opinion. So
yeah, exactly what I was thinking, and especially like you say, the whole Creator Clash that's why I say it's like a way for smaller creators to network with quote unquote bigger creators in its own way. So because of that, there is an even bigger weight on the importance of marketing. Because it's not even the case now that big name content creators are joining this Creator Clash thing, but it's a lot of less well-known creators, and because of that, there needs to be some kind of like a balancing act, kind of like balancing the books. If you have large content creators, they'll do the marketing for you just by being there, but this is a whole different story, which means that IDub should have seen this coming since the moment he decided he wants to make a part 2.
Oh, I agree. I think part of the problem is just like half of the people that were coming. It's just like you may know one or two of them, but the biggest person there is just iDubbbz and Epic Mealtime. And man, was that a bad idea. And the fact that they had all of the controversy around Froggy Fresh, who a lot of people did know, it just didn't work out very well. I heard a lot of people like refunded their tickets because of the Froggy Fresh drama. So, yeah.
It's quite a...
Anyway.
Yeah, it's quite a... Oh boy, it's quite a mess now. I'm thinking back about it already. And I'm not particularly well versed of current year iDubbbz lore per se, but I know enough in passing to know that he has not been performing very well with this Creator Clash after the first one.
Yeah, it's been very unfortunate. He lost all the people that supported him pretty much. He got an e-thought as his wife, and now he kind of has to live with that. Although I don't think she does porn anymore. I think that she decided that she doesn't like doing it anymore.
But I mean, I don't dislike iDubbbz too much, but more like I kind of pity him, because the whole idea of, maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned again, I'm probably going to say this a lot of times, I'm a bit old-fashioned, but if you want to pick someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with, pick someone who will respect you the way you respect them. And because mutual trust and mutual respect is important for a healthy long-term relationship. And whenever I see iDubbbz's wife interact with him, she's always demeaning him in some way. It's like, I feel like, why do you live like this, Ian? Why do you let someone who obviously does not respect you and would just treat you like some kind of like a cloud farm, treat you in such a way that makes you feel so low? I do not understand that.
Yeah, I think the thing that like shocked me the most is when she started talking about his incontinence. I'm like, okay, the world had no idea that iDubbbz had problems like that, but why are you bringing that up to the rest of the world?
Exactly, that was the part that made me, that really, it already even further proves my opinion about iDubbbz's wife. And the whole part about, do you know Max Mofo's wedding?
Yes, I remember that.
Even Joji, even Joji made time to attend his wedding, and iDubbbz just no time at all.
Yeah, he had to stay with his wife, so she got a tattoo.
Oh yeah, is that a meme or is that 100% real? Because I
think that's real.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I talked about it a few years ago also. I talked about it back in 2023 when it just happened, and I was kind of like talking about it like the whole tattoo appointment thing was like a meme, but to know that it is 100% real, it's disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the reason. Pretty sure. I was just bewildered the fact that he just decided not to go. It's real. Thank you, Azahara. I'm pretty sure it was. I can't believe that.
I miss
That's
Papa
so
Franco. Yeah, one of my lurkers say he miss Papa Franco. I miss Papa Franco too. But to be fair to Joji, being Filthy Frank is not easy. It is not easy.
I
at
imagine
all.
it's very draining.
Yeah, it's very draining because I remember he came up and he just said, Joji just said, I would love to continue Filthy Frank, but it has caused a lot of physical stress, to say the least, on me to keep this character up. But of course, that's not stopping people from making funny memes and jabs that how Joji is just a front for Filthy Frank, and Filthy Frank is the real person that is controlling Joji. But it's just our meme. But I appreciate he actually upfront and just say, I cannot do this anymore, and here's the reason why. So fair enough. But it's a shame that it ended.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think he's happier where he is now.
He is happier. I think he is happier.
It's time to stop. Yes, Bug, it is time to stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you ready to continue?
Yep, let's go.
To remedy that, we need to advertise it. Maybe that means bugging the fighters more. I hate doing that, but maybe we have to. And
oh my gosh.
just me making content around this shit. And I want more people to come to this event because it's been so life-changing for me, and I feel like it is such good vibes. I felt a lot of love in that arena. And even from my competitor, fucking Alex Wasabi. He was all being sweet to me and everything. You know, how sweet is that? Because we lost so much money on the second event, we weren't able to deliver to the charities. So we did this impromptu charity stream where I was like squirting ketchup down my throat for Philip DeFranco.
Oh, Philly donated 1.1K for throat chop.
As much of an unorganized shit show the charity stream was, it really meant a lot to me to see how many creators and fighters and fans and people who pirated it came through and donated for the cause. Because that told me there is a way to
fundraise. At 4:25. And
all right.
Say what you want about iDubbbz and the cringy marketing videos, I still think that the fact he still held this donation I still think is a good thing. It shows that he really is going to go through with what he claims he's going to do, which I still think it's worth respecting. That's just my just my opinion. Yeah, he actually put yeah. Go continue.
Oh, my apologies. I think my my apologies. I think the fact that he raised that money was good. I think the thing that's really unfortunate about it is that he wouldn't have had to do it if he didn't lose that $250,000. So the fact that he even had to get on camera and beg for money the way he did is really just kind of unfortunate, because if he didn't mismanage his money, he wouldn't even have to.
It all comes down to that, isn't it? So, in my opinion, he receives criticism for the way he manages things, which is bad in his own way, but it's not as bad as swindling your follower base, which I think he did not in that situation. So, to be fair to him, that is fine.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That was just a short. This is just a short thing I was thinking about. I wanted to be fair to Ian in a way. Okay, let's continue 4:25.
All right.
Raise for an event and also have an event. We can do both at the same time, and that's what we intend to do with this year's event. Now, obviously, we don't want a repeat of the previous year. It sucks losing a fuck ton of money, and it also sucks to then not be able to donate to the charities. We've restructured things so that even if the event is unsuccessful, it's a massive flop, I don't promote it enough, charity is still gonna get money because we're gonna be fundraising from now all the way to the end of the event. And on the event day, I have some very badass initiatives that I've developed that you guys are going to be seeing along the way that are meant to pack the coffers of Stand Up to Cancer. I don't know what coffers is. I don't know what packing the coffers is. Oh, also, Stand Up to Cancer is our partnered charity this year. All donations go directly to them. We do it through Tiltify. It's real straightforward. There's like some sort of leaderboard and shit like that. Now I'm going to tell you guys whether I'm fighting or not. I'm not. I've sacrificed enough, number one, and it also kind of goes against my theory about influencer boxing. I said it 3 years ago, I'm saying it again in this video. The more an influencer boxes, the less utility they have. I'm approaching what would be my third fight, and it would be cool to win, but this isn't a movie.
Really
I'm okay with not fucking winning this shit. Hey, don't get me wrong. If there's enough people interested, like, I'll come back. What I'm getting at is that the fight for me is more about the event itself. Like, that's what I'm fighting for, is I just want the event to do well. If I'm able to eventually win a fight, that would be a cherry on top. That would be awesome. That'd be a really cool redemption arc. For now, I really need to focus on the event succeeding and also just making money. Like, this shit has just drained me over the last 3 years. Let's put it this way. If I fought this year, that might mean that I took Freddie Wong's slot on the fight card because Freddie Wong is fighting. That's fucking Freddie Wong walk it jump, and I think that's way better. If Hundar came back to fight, we might not be getting LA Beast. That's the thing I don't think a lot of people get. This guy eats cactuses. This guy put his hand in some fucking vile concoction that made him scream bloody murder. I still don't know what the concoction is. This guy is insane. If Matt Watson came back, we might not have room for this guy that I met at E3 10 years ago, who now has a booming animation company and apparently likes to do violence in his spare time. The website's in the description. Go check out all the fighters. The YouTube account is going to have a bunch of original content that's following these fighters, so you're going to be able to be a little bit prepped. The best thing to do is follow all the Creator Clash socials so you're able to be updated on everything. This year is going to be a banger.
I think it's a great idea if he doesn't fight. I think like running an event and fighting in it is kind of a bad idea.
Right now.
It's hard enough kind of like running an event.
There you go. I got an endorsement to not box. Thank you. Bless. To close this video, I want to leave you with a little hype trailer that I've been working on, just to get you guys in the freaking
Would I be able to borrow a gun from my panel? Just for like one, I'll pull it just once, real quick one.
I didn't know there were other girls in this Discord.
Go take a shit in the bathroom!
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
I'm hot just like the sparrow. I'm shooting very narrow. My focus right. I don't feel the heat. It's from the barrel. Don't walk on that spam. It ain't real, my friend. Dig it out. Look at like a fucking fool, my man. You check it out. End up in the fucking pool again. All the blood pour out like a water can. Set it off. Can you move? Bonjour, belle, je suis ma, comment allez-vous? I don't give a fuck about you. Use the fool. I'ma kill you with a little or two. I got you. Use the beat. Snorting cocoa, smoking rock. Get so high you might get popped. Project socket, don't you knock, you get the pop. I don't give a fuck about you. Use the fool. I'ma kill you with a little or two.
I think the music is. We're just gonna pause that music. I'm not gonna continue that music. It's
I think that it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
The only
again
thing
call
we're
me
missing
old
is that
fashioned.
it's June 28th.
Yeah. Again call me
go
old
ahead.
fashioned, but The only person I really actually recognized in the whole trailer was Chris Reagan.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the website right now. I want to see who's fighting. I'm very interested. Chat, let's see who's fighting right now. Let's look at the matchups. And all of you... Epic Mealtime is still fighting!
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Oh, hey, they got some Minecraft YouTubers.
So Johnny V sent me a super chat and he says, I'm just sad little Timmy won't end up in a ring with Sam Hyde.
We need Sam Hyde to bring this back. Dude, if Sam Hyde came, hands down,
it's going to
IW
sell.
make $1 billion.
It is going to sell if Sam Hyde drops by.
Oh man, this is fantastic. So let's look at these player matchups. So we got Harley Mornstein, Epic Mealtime versus LA Beast. No idea who that is. Then we have Tubbo and Sapnap. I think everybody knows who Tubbo and Sapnap is from Dream SMP.
One of my lurkers just told me one way that can guarantee IDubbbz's Creator Clash is going to be a huge success is to somehow manage to convince Hassan and Sam Hyde to fight each other in the match.
Dude. Oh, since you brought it up, I gotta. Whenever somebody talks about Sam Hyde and Hassan Piker in the same room, I have to play the Sam Hyde clip on my stream for people. It's like a...
Oh yeah, I know
like
that stream. That is spicy. That remark was spicy.
It was fantastic. Here we go, chat. I really want to see a Hassan Piker Sam Hyde fight so bad.
I really don't know who most of these are. Honestly, I don't really know who most of these are. Maybe I'm just not hip and far out anymore, but I really don't know who most of these are.
Let's see. Well, I know who Odd Ones Out is. Although I only know the cartoon, I really don't pay attention to his face. Let's see. I don't know those females. I guess Freddie Wong is an important guy, so I'm going to assume that I'm not in it. I don't know those guys. I don't know those girls. That might be a girl. And then there's Dad. Okay, so are these all the people? Please tell me this isn't everybody. Because I recognize like 3, maybe 4 of these people, not including the Minecraft people.
Well, there's a lot of it's not a very long list, so if it wasn't all of it, I think they would have listed more, but I suspect that's all of it. I suspect.
Dude, this is so... Oh man, okay. How much money do you think he's gonna lose this time?
You will have nothing and you will like it.
A lurker just say Ethan Ralph on Creator Clash would be Kino.
It would. We need all of the sector. We need Ethan Ralph, PPP. We need who else? Andy Worski.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be beautiful. And then we need to
and
drag
for old
Jim
times,
out in his wheelchair.
and for old time's sake, Ian Mouse Chung.
Yes.
I'm sure
yes,
Andy Worski would want to have a match with Ian Mouse Chung.
You think so? Who do you think would win that one?
They had, well, from my recollection, Andy Worski has very bad history of Ian. It was basically, you want to know about it or you already know about it?
I don't.
Okay,
I
I think
or
it was
forgot.
Annie
We all
Warsky. Just preface this by saying I think it's Annie Warsky. It likely is, but him and Ian Mouse Chung back in 2016, 2017, I recall, they partnered up to create a YouTube channel. It was like, I can't remember, it was like one of those like politically incorrect channels, so the usual like anti-SJW type of content. And it was called Hype Break. Yes, it's called Hype Break. So hype as in hype train, break as in breaking your legs type of thing. So Hype Break.
Yeah.
Yep. And basically you went fine for most parts. Then eventually I can't remember what really transpired between them, but I think Metalker also talked about this situation when it happened. Essentially, people were quite convinced, and evidence seemed to point towards it being likely that Ian basically backstabbed Andy Warsky and wrestled control of the whole channel against his will. So he had full control of Hype Break, and Andy Warsky got nothing. It was a very
messy. Good reason to be upset.
Yeah, and also it appears that, well, allegedly, Ian Mouse Chung swatted Andy Warsky over this whole situation.
Yes, I remember this because I recall this because like Ian Miles Chung called and Andy Warsky's dog died or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember this for sure.
It would, if iDubbbz managed to get Andy Warsky and Ian Mouse Chung in the ring together, that would sell tickets. If it gets
it definitely would.
If it gets Hassan and Sam in the same ring, that will sell tickets. Because
I'll be honest,
one
we
of the
need
things
Hassan
is,
to fight Sam Hyde and H3H3.
Yeah, because one of the things, oh boy, yeah, H3 and Hassan, 2 against 1, that would sell tickets. But of course, that will never happen.
Or put Destiny in there as well.
Yeah.
3-on-1.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest appeals for Creator Clash, the first time it was successful because it had novelty, obviously, but I think now iDubbbz kind of need to, although it's going to be really hard, if he wants his Creator Clash to actually be very successful, he probably needs to get people who kind of have grudges against each other, high profile grudges against each other to duke it out in a ring. That is probably going to be a pretty big factor in success.
I agree. And the thing that kind of sucks is iDubbbz has kind of shifted away from grudges because even during the second one, he kind of talked about how he didn't want people to fight with each other. They wanted a nice big kumbaya kind of deal where everybody likes each other. They're just getting together to fight for charity. It's like, no, bro, that doesn't sell tickets. What sells tickets is people hating each other and building up beef, real or not. Excuse me. So if they had real people that had real beef get in there, it would be fantastic.
Which is just like,
didn't want to do it.
It's just like wrestling, WWE, WWF, all that things. Is that, like, whether it's fake or not, characters, the wrestlers create grudges to hook viewers in. All those little, like, in between wrestling matches, you see all those very elaborate melodramatic talking about how there's a grudge between 2 characters and they're going to duke it out, no holds barred, and all those type of things. That is indeed what people would pay money to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, the fighting is only half of it.
And I don't know how much of it is because of iDubbbz, the quote-unquote, there is this buzzword that's being used a lot. I think it's like trolls remorse or something like that. And
yes,
I don't know how much of this whole trying to shift it, like, this is just going to be a 100% positive, even though we are boxing each other and hurting each other is 100% positive. It's probably something to do with his kind of mindset, isn't it? About
I would say probably. I don't know.
yeah,
I think that like once he actually got together with his wife, he just like went so downhill. I don't know.
exactly right.
Chat's making
In my
references
opinion.
to
Yeah.
PPP. But yeah, I think that if he brought
one
that
of my
around,
lurkers brought up
he would do
something
well.
funny. What a funny
Oh.
matchup. I cannot believe it. Someone brought a very funny matchup. Destiny against the person who stole his wife.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I think it was a brown guy that stole his wife. Oh. Although, I don't know how you can steal somebody's wife when they're in an open relationship.
That
I just
is
don't know how that
exactly true.
works.
That is exactly true, which is, again, call me old-fashioned, but I do not see the appeal of an open relationship.
Same. I don't think that's old-fashioned. I think that's just accurate. Every single time I've seen somebody in an open relationship, they may say that they're happy at the I've seen people in multiple stages. I've seen people in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And it always ends up the same. Somebody's always cheating on the other one, and somebody's always dissatisfied. So I think Destiny is like the perfect example of somebody who gooned too close to the sun, and their open relationship was just a sign of them like falling apart, unfortunately.
And also, about this whole open relationship thing, I remember there was this news article back then about how there was this lady who was in an open relationship with I don't know how many men, but it ended up being quite a tragedy because one of the men she was in a relationship with, I think he was a very envious individual and he took things too far, which resulted in the worst outcome for all of them.
Did
Let's just
he
put
go
it that
on a
way.
killing spree or something?
Yeah, something like that. Basically that.
That's not good. That's not
So
good
that
at
is
all.
IDubbbz. That is IDubbbz. It's still disappointing. And you know what was the saddest thing in my opinion when I watched that whole thing? I know Ian was trying really hard to be funny throughout the whole trailer of sorts, but I didn't find anything funny anymore. I used to find his videos hilarious, especially when he did content cuts on people who behave poorly on the internet. And now it's just, I was just like, everything falls flat to me, but I'm not a comedian, so what would I know, honestly?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you need to be a comedian to understand that what he did, what he like turned into, was not good.
Yeah, that is a whole. I wonder if Ian will wisen up eventually or not. That's my big question, because I think, in my opinion, his wife is not good for him. Unhealthy for him.
I agree.
Both physically and mentally, especially mentally. To have someone who supposedly loves you very much and you're going to spend the rest of your life with, belittling you, saying what you have done all these years is wrong, and saying that you do not, and then do not respect you at all, I think that is so harmful to yourself.
I agree. It is really unfortunate because, like, I think that was his first relationship, and it is my understanding that you should be in at least one other relationship before you actually get together with somebody, because you need to understand the relationship dynamics before you become serious with people, because you could be with the completely wrong person and not know it because of the relationship you're in. So I think that he just shacked up with the first woman he saw and has just decided this is it. And buddy, there's multiple other fish in the sea.
Yeah, and the whole thing about relationships is that your wife or your husband, they will usually in a proper relationship, if your wife or your husband betrays you, you remember it for the rest of your life. It's going to paint your relationship with that individual for as long as they live. And this has really gone beyond betrayal, in my opinion. It's actively, it's not even betrayal anymore, it's active belittling and it's active belittling, for the lack of a better word.
No, I agree. I agree. So I don't know. Like, part of me it wants to hope that he wisens up and gets it, but I feel like it's already reached the point where if he would have found out, he probably would have moved on, because he's had so many people on the internet try and point out issues and flaws, and he's just like, I don't care. I like her the way she is, and it's just like, okay, then he likes being abused. So you kind of got to let him live with it. Somebody in my chat asked if it was a fetish. I don't think it's a fetish. I just think this man is literally buck broken to the point of defeat.
And I recall I also saw Sam Hyde's. Yeah, I recall also seeing Sam Hyde's commentary when he talked about the documentary, and Sam Hyde actually made a lot of mentions. And there's one part that I do think Sam was genuine on, is that he has no specific beef with Ian, and he sees Ian in with a level of pity and questioning why Ian is so committed to this relationship that is so toxic to him. I think Sam said something like that, and I do think that he was serious on that issue.
Oh, I agree, and that was one of the rare moments where I feel like you actually saw the Sam Hyde that was at the very least semi-serious, where he's like, yeah, I do kind of feel bad for this guy. I feel for this little crazy person that's that I make fun of. I kind of feel bad for him because he doesn't really deserve it, but by the same token, it's just kind of funny to poke at him. So, excuse me. I don't know. I just think that iDubbbz is not going to learn, and he's probably going to go his entire life being in the middle of this disgusting situation that he has put himself in, and it's honestly kind of sad. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a bummer of a story, iDubbbz story.
Very much so.
Yep.
Chat, that's why excuse me. That is why you need to like know your partner, and two, maybe date once or twice before you actually go serious with somebody. And when someone says you have a Yoko Ono, you run. Are you familiar with the Yoko Ono story?
I have a general idea of Yoko Ono and what her influence towards John Lennon, right?
Yes, I believe.
Yes, I have a general idea of the influence she exerted on John Lennon. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure, because not everybody knows the story behind that. And because the Beatles are my favorite band, I'm very extensively knowledgeable on that whole shit. Excuse me. And he says, "Is Yoko Ono?" Yes, she is. Oh goodness. Anyway, I have a couple super chats that I want to read, if it is okay with you.
Yep, go ahead.
Read them.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I'll mute myself here for just a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, Johnny V, thank you for the membership. Appreciate it. Since we are on the top, since Occo is doing her super chats, how about I read what you have talked about? From Lurker-chan, it's not a fetish, it's just being weak-willed. I've seen marriages like this in real life, and you can see the misery in the eyes of the man. And here is actually a very important point to say. There is this syndrome that I'm sure a lot of people would have probably heard of. It's called battered wife syndrome. But I think it's not, you can't really call it a battered wife syndrome. I'd say it's more of a battered spouse syndrome, because fact remains, it can happen to either side. Either can be the perpetrator, either can be the victim. There is yes. You heard me talk. Do you hear me talk?
Oh no,
yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. I'm just talking to some of my lurkers because one of them brought up a point I wanted to elaborate on.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. How about I bring up a topic of mine? Maybe.
Okay. Before you do, I had a
Yep.
super chat that was gonna ask you a question here.
All right.
It says, "Hi Permaban, been using your Blue Sky video to warn people. Been surprised how many totally dismiss / block everything you and Legal Mindset pointed out."
Oh yes, about that.
I am unfamiliar with your Blue Sky video.
Oh yeah. There is. Hold on. I will send you the properly edited version of the Blue Sky video. Hold on. I'll find it for you. It's short enough.
Okay.
It's from a lurker who ended up clipping for me for about a few months. And I did appreciate. Hold on. I linked it to you, but
Okay.
you can watch it in your own time. But long story short is that few months back, I think late last year, there was a whole talk about, remember Elon talk about Grok and the AI
Yes.
data sharing thing, and people basically went all berserk over it, and they were under the impression that you had no choice in this, that Grok is going to take your data and there's nothing you can do about it. So a lot of them decided to move to Blue Sky. At that time, a lot of artists, a handful of VTubers as well. And the whole point is, I took some time to, me and Legal Mindset did his research. I also did a bit of mine on the side. And we found out that the whole, if you're concerned moving to Blue Sky is over AI stealing your art, stealing your designs or your posts, whatever, going to Blue Sky is not going to help. In fact, it likely would make things worse. Because here is the big
I think I've heard about this, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, you can see me delve deeper in that linked video, but long story short is Blue Sky is arguably worse on the whole AI scraping thing than Twitter is currently. And if you're saying it's better, it's not. And this was something that a lot of people who shilled for Blue Sky were not able to accept. I mean, I do admit at the very, very start, I preface this by saying I do not like Blue Sky. But that being said, even though I do not like Blue Sky, I will be fair to it. If I see something that is factual about it that is not good, I will say it is not good. If it is good, I will say it is good. My opinions on the platform and the people there aside. So a lot of people didn't accept that. They think I was just spreading hate against Blue Sky and shilling for Twitter. Please.
Oh, that you don't have to shill for Twitter. It does a pretty good job on its own. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, you can watch the video in your own time. And to the super chatter, yeah. And you know what's the funniest thing? I made a follow-up post in January, and the very same people who were like roasting me on Blue Sky when I first made that stream video, they were like saying, oh, Permaban wasn't actually just spreading fear mongering, it actually is happening. And they showed the blue sky terms where they say that we can't stop AI from scraping your data, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay,
hilarious.
I'm glad that people find the truth find out the facts eventually. And I can't really blame them. Some of them do have a vested interest to shield for blue sky for one reason or another. Maybe they like the community there better because they are like-minded. It doesn't matter to me, but I just say what I think. What I am till now tentatively sure is the facts.
Yeah. What's funny is I have slowly been paying attention to VTubers who left for Blue Sky, and now they are slowly trudging their way back to YouTube, or excuse me, not YouTube, to Twitter, because they know that there is nothing on Blue Sky.
They know.
I don't know if you've been paying attention to that too.
Yes, I have seen it happen. And also there's a very funny story that I think he wouldn't mind. If he minds, I'm sorry, but I think he wouldn't mind me sharing this story because it's public. It's very public. Hughes, you know the artist Hughes?
I'm unfamiliar now.
Hughes, Hews. He makes a lot of like quite spicy art of anime.
Okay.
And basically he opened a Blue Sky account. And he just tried to open a Blue Sky account and started posting there. And not long after he started posting there, he got shadow banned. Because
Really?
because Blue Sky, because I have said in my stream before that those who got kicked out of Twitter for anti-behavior such as hating on anime, hating on the usual things that people hate on Twitter, like specific VTuber avatars and all that things, I asked them, where do you think they end up when they get kicked out of Twitter or when people drive them to protect mode? They go to Blue Sky. And exactly that was what happened. Hughes is... Some of Hughes' art, quote-unquote, offends certain Westerners on Twitter. And when they got chased off Twitter, they moved to Blue Sky. And it's evident.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh.
And Merryweather as well. Merryweather was one of those guys who really hard sell Blue Sky during the Elon Musk AI thing. And he's also back. And he made a cartoon that basically proves my point, kind of. So the first part was that
I remember that
first part. Yeah, Merryweather's first part of the cartoon, which was made last year, was basically saying, "Oh, Twitter-chan is very obnoxious and rude. I don't like you. I'm going to Blue Sky where Blue Sky-chan is very gentle and nice." That was like back in November of last year.
Yeah.
And recently he released a new comic in January, which was basically saying, which was a follow-up. And it was Blue Sky-chan basically saying, "What are you drawing, user?" And he shows a picture of an anime girl to Blue Sky-chan. Instantly he got banned from Blue Sky. And he crawled back to Twitter.
Yeah, so good. It's because Merryweather recognizes that there is nothing there. And those weren't the only ones. Do you remember Joe Cat? I bet you know Joe Cat. You're familiar.
Oh yes, I know Joe Cat. I know. I have seen some of his remarks during the Hogwarts Legacy incidents, and also some of his remarks a few weeks ago.
Oh, the one about idol culture? That one was hilarious. Mizu did a whole stream on it.
Yep.
I did a stream on it too,
the specific part that really griped me was the whole part implying that showing your face in front of a camera IRL is a good thing and a good evolution for VTubing. That is not. I am old-fashioned like that.
Because he doesn't understand. Yeah, he doesn't understand OPSEC whatsoever.
Oh, Saint Cisco is in the chat. Hello, Saint. Hope you're having a good time.
Hello, Sane. I know Sane. They're cool.
Yeah, Saint is. The funniest thing is that I have a feeling before both of us became VTubers, I might have seen Saint before.
Oh yeah.
Because we were in, I think we were in the same Facebook group, Toho Facebook group.
Oh really?
And it was like, oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, and then at one point, I think Saint started following me, and I followed Saint, and she made mention about, well, Toho Health sends his regards, which was the Facebook group that I was like, oh my god, what a small world, what a small world.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
that is very hilarious.
I mean, it's heartwarming because it's heartwarming, because it's really nice to see that although you have changed, sometimes online you change so much, but some things that don't change, those are the most enduring parts. And I agree. This is why I still maintain my Facebook account and post there semi-regularly. Because I don't want to forget Facebook.
Oh no, for sure. Now you're making me wish I didn't accidentally lose my Facebook account. Oh man. Although the problem is that I just played a lot of Minecraft on it, so I got the wrong audience on there. So if I made a new one, it would have to be a brand new Facebook, and I would have to say, not for little children to follow.
And this is and this is a very odd problem that's most prevalent on Twitter, is that certain accounts you see in the bio, if you are of under a specific age, obviously don't interact, don't see the content there, but they still do it, and they get upset to have seen it, despite the warning saying, just don't. If you if you think this way, or if you are of a specific group of demographic of people, the post on this account is not for you, but they still do it and they get upset. That is something that
it really upsets me.
Yeah, it has been a big problem since the 2020 coup. 2020 has changed the dynamics of social media almost irreversibly, unfortunately. Almost.
Almost. I think we're slowly getting back to normal though.
Oh, Sane, what do you want to ask me? Sane is in my chat asking me for something. Hold on. I'll just she'll respond in her own time. So you continue.
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good. You said that you had something that you wanted to bring up.
Oh yeah. My own topic. Did you notice that ever since the pendulum started swinging last year? So now, before it was all about woke this, woke that, progressive this, progressive that, and pendulum started swinging late last year, and people were like more open to expressing what they actually think. Yeah, have you noticed the whole part of certain right-wingers going mask off?
Yes. Okay, so when Donald Trump won at the end of November, I was like, okay, this is going to bring about a new era. And I knew, because it's been brewing around for the last like not even 4 years. It's been like almost 16 years ever since Obama was in. of people that were dissatisfied with how things were going, and it's been slowly curving to the point where it's going to swing back hard. And I knew that we were going to get people like the people that we have now that are quote unquote right wing, but are asking for censorship. I knew it was going to happen.
More my lookers say the 90s is back, and I do think so. It's
Yes.
slowly coming back for better and worse. For better and worse.
No, I agree. I knew it was going to swing, but I expected it would be a couple of months, maybe a year into Trump's second term before it would happen. No, it started like a couple months before he even got in office.
Yeah, near instantly. And it is very... And it was very shocking to me when I first saw it happen, because I have seen some of them. Some of them have been very... During the years of Biden and during even the first Trump term, they were like all against censorship. Free speech is very important, all against censorship. If it's free expression, if it harms no one and it's legal, why do you want to censor it? All of that. Then suddenly, now late last year, they went, if this content is quote unquote degenerate, we should ban it. And I was like,
Yep, it swung right back around.
How are you how are you different from the left? Well, the aggressive left, who has been calling for this type of things to happen. How are you that different from it? And there is one specific individual that I have posted quite often about it on Twitter, but he is a very big piece of evidence, in my opinion, that horseshoe theory exists and is very real. I wouldn't even call it horseshoe theory anymore. It's Ouroboros theory, because it's full circle, the snake eating itself. That's how extreme it has become.
It has. So, shoot, my thought just kind of died there as soon as I was trying to get it out. What's really crazy is when I started to notice this, and this is something that I briefly talked about with the almighty Lolly, and I know he made a stream talking about it, but my thought process is that it is a psyop that is being co-opted by somebody that is trying to get a message out there or trying to push people back to the left because of just how...
That is true. I suspect that to be
because
true.
of how they act.
There is...
You think so?
Yeah, well, my luck is I had a stream talking about this last year, and one of my lurkers brought up the exact same point, is that there are two very real possible scenarios as to why the so-called right-wingers have gone mask off. Firstly is the most straightforward one, is that they have gotten hubristic, getting arrogant in their micro victories, that they have started to think they're counting their chickens before they hatch. And the second part is, as you say, and as one of my lurkers say, there are certain individuals whom have a history of, I wouldn't accuse them of grifting, but a history of changing their viewpoints quite easily. And for one reason or another, they are specifically trying to make the current counterculture appear as less appealing to the masses. And they do that by behaving this way.
Yeah. I think the Quartering is a decent example of that. He's been slowly trending more rightward over the past couple of years, and I know that he used to be very different. I know that everybody makes the meme about how he has two dads, but...
He was very different, and he was very different. I never really liked Quartering, but I do admit that back in 2016, I noticed him around 2017. And I have off and on seen some of his videos. Sometimes he reports about things that are useful, things that are factual and are useful, and I appreciate that he reports on them, but there's always like there's an underlying feeling I always felt. Maybe it's just me. That I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons that, let's just say there's a lot of reasons why there's a lot of reasons why people have a not 100% positive experience with quartering. And I also do I can't fully trust him, I almost feel like, whenever he makes a video.
Well, with him, it feels just lazy. He goes where the money is, and it's very obvious because of how much that he shills and how much that he talks about making money and all that stuff. It's very obvious, like, he is just following the money. And I don't necessarily think... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the off-putting things about quartering is that he spends... Firstly, there was one YouTube channel that I used to watch, and I'm not sure if they're still active or not, but it was an Australian-based gaming YouTube channel. I think it was called Layman Gaming. So it basically skill up, but he was with his, I'm not sure whether it was his brother or a good friend of his, but before skill up was skill up, he had a channel with a friend or a brother of his that was called Layman Gaming, and one of their videos were kind of popular with the way they edited their pre-video memes. And that was the first thing I've noticed. I enjoy his pre-video memes, and not long after I noticed quartering, he started doing those type of pre-video memes. It's probably petty of me, but I always felt like it was very forced, and it was obvious that where he got the inspiration from. And
you talking about the little skits that he did in the beginning of his videos?
Yeah, where he just photoshops a face of someone and then do some movie references or something like that. And I found, although Layman Gaming did it first, I found theirs to be funny. But when he did it, I found it to be very forced and kind of cringy. In my opinion, many people will think differently about it. And that was the first time that I was like, okay, I watch you for the news you share, but I don't watch you for entertainment. That's how I think about quartering last time. And not long after, he has reached a point that 1/3 of his videos is this unfunny memes and talking about his sponsors. And the other 2/3 was only about... And the second part is all about... The 2/3 part is about him talking about the news, but not even then. Half of the part is him trying to be funny, and the other half of the 2/3 is actually the news. And I did not appreciate the trying to be funny part. So maybe that was
I don't either. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I've finished it for now. Continue yours.
Oh, fair.
I spoke a lot.
Fair enough. No, you're good. You're good. I think what's funny is I think he slowed down on the skits, or maybe even stopped them altogether. And now I will be fair, I don't watch him that much, but when I do watch him now, I don't see any of his skits almost at all. So either he has decided to tone them down to the point where they're not noticeable anymore, or they're just gone completely. And chat, you will probably correct me almost instantly. I have a few people that also watch the quartering, and which is fine. You can watch the quartering. I don't mind if you do or don't. I just think some of it, that's something that I noticed. It's fun. The reason is because Layman edits his own videos while the quartering doesn't edit. Yeah, the quartering has his own editor, which is a lot of editing to do because he releases 5 to 6, I don't know how many, 4 to 6 videos a day. I wish I could throw that many out every single day.
You will have nothing and you will write it.
But yeah, one of my lurkers also brought up the part that quartering seems to have a big problem with cartoons, drawings, but he never seems to complain about OnlyFans. But we already know that, right? We already know that with all these so-called right-wingers. They always talk about video game lewd images in video games, lewd images in anime and manga, but the moment you bring up OnlyFans, it's just dead silence.
Well,
and also on that part about
think-
editing, yeah, one of your chatters say about the part about editing. Yes, I do recall that layman does make their own little pre-video memes, and Quartering hires someone, and it's kind of obvious that the person who makes the pre-video memes for Quartering, he's doing it because he's paid. It kind of shows. So
one of your
if you are
chatters says that he does
personally
complain about
invested,
OnlyFans.
yep. If you're personally invested in the things that you make, the audience will know. If you have your own, if you have the proper feel towards the content that you're making, the audience will notice it. So I guess that's a really big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, going back to the Goonergate stuff, because we were that's initially what you brought up, and since the quartering is in it, I do think it's funny. Because do you know how the quartering kind of got started on that conversation of Goonergate?
It was over Melanie Mac, isn't it?
Yes, because Melanie Mac is one of his co-hosts on his podcast that he does every single day. So my belief is,
I remember that.
Like
yeah,
he's got her, he's got Styx Hexenhammer, who is one of the most bizarre people to have as a podcast co-host, and a couple of other wonky people as well. Man has a lot of people that talk to him every single day.
Yeah, and a little bit of the whole Goonergate. The word goon or gooner, for us who have been active on Facebook, we kind of have an original term meaning, a different meaning for the word gooning and gooner and goon.
Yeah.
From my own personal experience, gooning and gooner was a very popular term on Facebook for a good few months, probably a year or so. And it basically involved a bunch of people online who are gym bros. So they go to the gym all the time. And what they will do is they'll exercise a lot. They will start posting photos of their muscular bodies. And people will just call it goon posting.
Really?
Yeah, and basically you will see comments after comments after comments during that period of time where people engage in online debates on Facebook, and someone will just reply with a comment, post physique. So that to me was always what gooning meant. A bunch of gym bros posting photos of their physique. I have no idea how it ended up being synonymous with combing. I have no idea how it ended up being there.
Yeah.
I don't know who started it.
That's a good question.
I didn't appreciate it. I don't know
That is a
who
good
started
question.
it.
I don't know. Maybe we need to find them and make them start working out.
Yeah, I really don't know, but probably I'm just old. Probably I'm old. I'm not that old, but probably I'm just like comparatively old compared to the person who changed the meaning of the word goon.
Oh gosh. Well, you don't have to tell me your age, but are you over 30? Or are you still 20s?
No comment.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. My apologies. I was gonna say, because I'm like still 20s, and I still have that feeling where it's just like, what the fuck are these young kids talking about?
By the way, saying thank you for the 100 bits before I was deep in the conversation, but I saw your bits. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. Adding on to that, have you heard of a little specific individual by the name of John Del Aros? John the Rice?
Yes. Yes. The furry.
Yes. He is the textbook illustration of horseshoe theory I have seen. Such a clean demonstration, completely foolproof demonstration of what horseshoe theory looks like. You probably know his story. I post a lot about it, right?
Mm-hmm. I've seen
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
probably
what
know
post,
his story.
what you post, yeah.
Yep. Here's the thing. The part about furry things is less of a problem to me, but the bigger problem is that he has the audacity to talk about ethics in journalism. Because I have seen a very specific thing. I've seen a very specific bunch of articles that he wrote and bunch of tweets that he made where he was bragging about chasing someone in the comics industry out of the internet. Basically mocking him a lot, spreading a lot of like correct me if I'm wrong, but lurkers, but basically it was a bunch of personal DMs was leaked of this comic book artist, and basically this John guy, he wrote articles about him, completely assuming he's a creep. And he spread the news far and wide. Yeah, he spread the news far and wide. And the whole idea was that eventually a lot of people read what John wrote and they dogpiled on this comic book artist. And I don't know who else reported it, but John was one of the ones who reported it the loudest. And he started bragging about chasing this comic book artist off the internet. And about a week later, the news came out. This specific comic book artist, he has decided he is a late comic book artist now.
Oh, he took his wife?
He resorted to that type of action against himself. And you know what our friend John did? What our friend John did was he pretended he never wrote those articles smearing him. He pretended he never tweeted bragging about chasing him off the internet. And instead what he did was he did a full 180, saying that, oh, it is so unfair that this comic book artist was smeared online to the point that he had to resort to this type of action. Pray for him. And the comic book industry is so silent about what they did to this man that they should be ashamed. And I was like, you did this. And now you're pretending you did not. The gall for you to say that. So basically, I did not want to be a John the Rice type of reply person, but there's just some things that really, really just basically just grinds my gears so much. Whenever I see this person, I just can't help but saying, you are one to talk about anything.
Yeah. Well, he really shouldn't talk about anything because, like, the amount of his current grift on degeneracy is just really hilarious. Like, because I'm sure you've seen all of the brony stuff that he's tweeted about from his account that magically is still there. It's just
exactly. And that's not the worst part. You know about the pen name incident?
Yes, because wasn't he pretending to be a female and people just like assumed this was a real woman or something?
He was pretending to be a lady author. He was pretending to be a female author by the name of, it doesn't matter what the name is, but basically he was pretending to be a female author and people discovered that he was pretending to be a female author because it seems one of his streams he had Twitter open. And for a brief moment, they saw his alt account. And it was that alt account.
Yeah.
So people asking the question. Why do you have an alt account where you pretend to be someone else? Someone else completely. And basically he said something along the lines of, "Oh, it's so shocking for me to have a pen name. Educate yourself." Something along the lines of that. And people indeed educated themselves. They educated themselves so much that they found out the profile picture of the alt he was using was a photo of an actual woman who runs a Spanish tutoring website. Yeah, there was...
Oh.
They found out about it, and one of the people emailed this Spanish tutor and say that, "Hey, there is this account that is using your profile pic and likeness. Do you approve of this?" And then the tutor basically said, "Thank you for your response. No, I did not know about this, and no, I did not approve of this. Thank you for letting me know." Something like that. And now, and I think this Spanish teacher, she was like, she's not very active online. She just posts videos of her teaching Spanish and advertising her website to have online classes. And because of this, she went active. She went active again. And the thing is, I also saw this Spanish teacher. She, in my opinion, she is completely legitimate. She has a YouTube channel where she has consistently posted Spanish classes. Her website is also legitimate. And you know what John did? John assumed it was a burner account that tried to start beef with him.
No. Oh, please don't tell me he got her account taken down.
No, her account is still up.
Oh, thank God.
Think. But his alt is also still up.
I think the last I heard is that she's planning to sue him if he doesn't remove her face. If I heard correctly.
Yes, she is.
That is...
one of my lurkers brought out a very interesting story, and this is made after I go through this story with you. It's your turn to tell a story. But anyway, during my Facebook days around 2018 onwards, I have started go really like interested in VTuber stuff. So was like Kizuna I and Kaguya Luna back in those times. And there was this one reply guy who was always on my Facebook page, replying about how I would say I'm gonna use words. He sounds a lot harsher in his words, but I'm just gonna use more polite words to describe what he say. Let's imagine basically saying that VTubers and people like PewDiePie deserve to be locked up.
Game ended.
Yes, that was basically what he says. He doesn't even just say it once. He said multiple times across different posts about me posting about VTubers, talking about how shameful I am to even be interested in VTubing.
Really?
Yep. And at one point, and just today, I made an announcement of my collab post. You can see my Twitter. I talked about it, but I basically remind my followers that I'm having a collab with you today. And he came back and he replied with basically saying, "I am not interested in watching your stream unless you stream yourself doing something very harmful."
Really?
Yeah. You can see it for yourself.
Wow, that's crazy. That is insane. Some people, okay. I'm curious. Do you think that VTubers are going to continue growing?
I think VTubing is still growing slightly, but not by much. I think eventually it will reach a steady state. But here's the thing though. There's one thing that will continue to inspire get VTubers to grow more. And that is the haters. The more people hate VTubers, the more it will grow. That's how it happens. So if people who hate VTubers, they do not want VTubing to grow any higher, they should stop hating on it. Just pretend it does not exist and let it simmer down organically. That's just the best way to do it. But that's the problem for them. They can't stop hating. And because they cannot stop hating, they cannot stop getting people to like VTubers just to spite them. Spite is a powerful motivator.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. That's actually how I started being a V. Well, okay, that's only like a quarter of the way, like a little bit of like a half of why I started being a VTuber is from spite. Oh my gosh, Amalgamate, thank you for the raid. Hello.
Well, what's your story?
Welcome.
What's your story about how you ended up being a VTuber?
Oh.
I'm kind of curious now.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say a good chunk of VTubers have, well, not like the big ones, but there's a lot of VTubers that have a nemesis or a person that like inspires them to do something, or just like, well, and it's mostly me, Mizu, and Lumi that we talk about having nemesis. But do you have like, I guess this person that you just talked about, would you consider them to be like your nemesis, basically?
No, I just find him to be entertaining. I completely forgot he existed until he started commenting again. Yesterday.
Fair enough. That's funny. That's funny. I forgot you existed until you decided to come back, and now I'll forget you exist until you post again. No, but so I had a nemesis. I basically had a nemesis. And the individual, I don't talk about them because it gives them too much energy. And so they are only referred to as the nemesis for that reason. They were a streamer. And they started streaming, and I kind of liked them for a while. They were somebody that I supported. And then I noticed that they started doing some things that kind of freaked me out. And I decided that I couldn't support them anymore. One of the biggest ones being that they advocated for doxing somebody when it suited their purposes, and I was like, okay, I can't be okay with that. That's kind of just wrong. So I decided to stop supporting them, and I was like, you know what? I think I know how to stream better than they do. And so it was kind of around that time, before I'd separated from them, I decided to buy a VTuber model because I'd always kind of wanted to be a VTuber, and I started VTubing, and you know, here we are today. It was half spite, half I wanted to just, I kind of wanted to just stream because I've always wanted to stream. And I've always wanted to do drama too.
Yep. There is one of the few things that online, you can say anything you want to say online within reason, but the moment you reach to a point where you threaten someone, or you threaten to dox someone, you want to call someone to, or call your followers to dox someone on your behalf, that is not going to jive with me. Not going to jive with just about anyone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like specifically, like it was a beef in like the role. Like, okay, I know you're on Twitter a lot, but are you familiar with Twitter role players?
Are they similar to gimmick accounts?
No. So gimmick accounts, well, I guess maybe, because Twitter role players are really, they just role play on main all the time, and most of them are just horny posting. They're looking to get their rocks off to horny posting on role plays.
There was, at one point in Facebook, there were a lot of pages that crop up and all they do was role play. So I have a good idea what you're talking
pretty much
about.
like that. Yep. Exactly like that for the most part. But yeah, so it was specifically over a role play, and they had gotten mad that one person had decided to basically chase another person off the internet, which both pretty dumb in my personal opinion. So they basically are like, oh, I want that person's information because I want to chase them off the internet too. And it's just like, okay, that's not good. That's not good at all. So that was kind of like the point where I was like, okay, I can't person this anymore.
Okay, before I continue on, I need to do a shout out.
Okay.
Riggeth subbed to my Twitch for 6 months, and I really appreciate it. I really hope I am worth your time. Thank you, Riggeth. Okay, now back to the topic. Yeah, now back to the topic.
You're good.
Yep. You probably know how I ended up being a VTuber, right? Or maybe you don't.
Give me a refresher real quickly here, actually. I feel like I heard it once, but
yeah, I talked about it in detail during Armchair Experts Collab last year. But long story short is I have no nemesis. A lot of people, I am sure, are nemesis with me, but although I complain a lot and I rant and moan a lot, one thing I will refuse to do, if I can help it, is to take things personal. It's not worth it at the end of the day. So I have no nemesis. I didn't choose to be a VTuber out of spite in that regard, but long story short is around my 100,000th follow on Facebook. One of the lurkers asked me, have you ever considered VTubing? I did not, and I said no. But one thing I was like kind of interested or just curious about was making my own little page mascot avatar thing. So you see, off and on, I post a video that I look quite a lot different than my VTuber persona. That's just the original design of my avatar that I used to make memes. And at some point, my lurkers started asking over and over and over again about VTubing. For, I think, around 2 to 3 years, they kept asking. And eventually I was like, I was considering it. But one thing I wanted to do is that I have family, real life. They ask me, they know about my social media presence. I was like, if you want to be a VTuber, why don't you give it a go? So yeah, long story short, that was the reason. Basically, a bunch of my followers said give it a try, and my family said give it a try, so I gave it a try.
Right.
So
nice.
kind of a boring reason, but it is what it is.
Why'd you choose the outfit that you currently have? I'm curious.
I like hats. And I like overcoats.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good reason, my personal opinion. Both hats and coats are really cool. Excuse me. How adorable. Yes, very. Very much so. Very, very much so. Is it so is your look based off of a specific character? Is it inspired by something?
It's less of specific character, it's more of aspects that I like. So Hime cuts are my favorite. Hime cuts are my favorite, and I am also not a fan of being over the top in appearance. And of course, I like overcoats, and I like a fancy hat.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
basically
the coat
all
is probably really cool. Yeah.
And I like red.
You know what? That red is a pretty good color. So that's pretty cool. Excuse me. Badman is baseman. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I have to ask because people kept asking me before the stream started. Can you tell me what's up with the milk meme? Because everybody kept telling me to ask you about it because I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, did
they tell me to ask about it all the time. Yes.
Oh, I cannot believe people in your chat also are behaving so disappointingly. But am appalled. I am very
Oh
shocked.
dear.
But since they want to devolve it into such a way, I'll tell them. Well,
Okay.
there is a clip of them as well. There's a clip that talks about my discussion of the lore behind this whole word, but long story short is on Facebook. At one time on Facebook, I actively posted the way I do on Twitter. So I post about, sometimes I post politics, sometimes I post social things, and sometimes I post random things that I just felt like posting. And one of them was an article from CNN. And I'm going to see whether I can find it or not. But basically, it's an article from CNN. And it was talking about something you'd see from the World Economic Forum. Talking about how cockroach milk is the next superfood.
Oh. I think I see where this is going. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like posting cockroach milk was the next superfood, and I was like, it was disgusting. And I talked about it and complained about it. Basically saying they're forcing us. So CNN is basically saying, oh, we should stop drinking cow's milk and we should start drinking cockroach milk because it is a superfood and it is what cost efficient or something like that, or good for the climate or whatever that is. So I posted about that. Yep. And the next thing I knew was one of the lurkers started saying, who needs something along the lines of, who needs cockroach milk when you have then that? So I was completely flabbergasted, shocked, appalled by his behavior. So in hindsight, I probably regret it. But at that point in time, I probably did not know much about it. So I screen capped his comment and showed it to the entire page, saying that you should not behave like this, you should not say these words. And eventually, you know how people on the internet are. You tell them to stop.
Yep.
So
now
that's
there's
the lore.
memes.
Now there's memes. And it all started with a CNN article.
So technically, you're saying that you need to sue CNN for bringing this to light, is what I'm hearing.
Suing CNN for emotional distress.
Yes, exactly. Emotional distress and harm to your visage. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh man, I don't think I have been blessed to have memes such as that put down upon me. I don't know.
Never
I'm sure
stop.
chat will come up with something someday.
They never stop. Every single stream I've had, every single post I make, there is at least one mention of it. That is so disappointing.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. By the end of the day, I can't stop them. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly. Oh, man. Well, thank you for telling me the origin. I promise you I will not ask again.
Someone will probably ask again.
Well, I won't ask again.
Yeah. Even Bounding Into Comics made mention about it, and I was so embarrassed.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, Bounding Into Comics did?
Yeah, because I made a post on Twitter about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I was talking about one of the female characters who was supposedly a sumo wrestler, even though female sumo wrestlers were not a thing until at least after the Sengoku period. So he talked about all of that, and he made one idol mention about don't mention milk, and I was like, Lurkus, you embarrass me wherever you go. And you embarrass me wherever you go.
Oh.
And of
Just like a
course,
mom with her kids.
Armchair Expert mentioned it as well after our collab stream. At the end.
That's right, I forgot that you guys collabed. Oh, that's perfect.
I had what was shocking to me with the collab with Armchair is that it lasted for 5 hours. I was expecting it 3 hours, but it lasted for 5.
Yeah. Armchair definitely knows how to get talking when it's time to do it. I love listening to Armchair.
Okay, let's see. Do you know about Avowed? The game?
Avowed. Oh,
Yeah.
Avowed?
Yeah, Avowed.
I
will
am
have
vaguely
nothing
familiar.
and
I know
you
that it's a
will write
game
it.
where it's that it's like apparently super duper hyper woke. I haven't paid that much attention to it.
Oh yeah, go
but I
super
just know
chat.
that it's
Hold
like
on.
one of those
I'll
games.
pause for a while. Sorry.
Yep. No, you're good.
Some shambler. Who do you think I am? I won't hurt you or your family just because you said that word. Do you think I'm like some kind of like a demon auntie who would just go around using my slippers to beat people up? No, that's not what I do. Don't misunderstand me.
That sounds very specific.
I have no comment, sorry. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yep, back to Avowed. Continue your little opinion on Avowed.
Yeah, I don't know very much about the game. All I know is that it's got like a really bad character creator and everybody's basically blasting it. And I might be confusing it for another game, but weren't the game devs trying to pay people to play the game, or trying to get influencers to play the game, and it just was not working out very well?
Close enough, similar story. The one you're talking about is Star Wars Outlaws, where they gave a whole bunch of YouTubers VIP tickets to Disneyland so that to basically make them feel more motivated to give a good review. That was Ubisoft. But Avowed did something very similar. And basically, again, I posted about this on Twitter like I usually do, but what they did was there is one reviewer from a group called Kinda Funny. There was this reviewer who gave Avowed the game a 9.5 out of 10. Near perfect score. And here's the thing.
That's funny.
Here's the thing. Let me see if I can find the post. But let's see if I can find a post for the lurkers. But basically, a few days after he left the review. There we go. Basically, a few days after he left the review, he was caught receiving a collector's edition of Avowed from Microsoft.
Really?
Yeah. It is. Yeah, the game's journalist did that. He left a 9.5 out of 10 review for Avowed, and about a few days later, he got a steelbook collector's edition of Avowed that comes with a fancy mask. And as far as I know, he got it for free.
That's
so I
insane.
wonder why. Makes me wonder why.
Man, that's crazy. People are saying that Asmongold gave it a good review.
I mean,
Again,
it's
I
up
know
to
nothing
you if
about
you.
it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them if they like the game or not. But what really, I would not have talked about this guy if he did not out himself so immensely. I mean, the first part was giving a game that is obviously flawed a 9.5 out of 10. That's already a red flag in my opinion. If he gave me an 8 or an 8.5, I'll be like, okay, that's his opinion. But he gave me a 9.5. It's near perfect, basically.
What was
And
wrong
the
with
problem
it?
with Avowed was that he had a lot of game-breaking bugs. And the writing
Oh.
was horrible. Remember the Tumblr days? Days of Tumblr, where you would see
Yes.
people role-playing a lot, and they'll be like those
Yes.
weird little descriptive things that is not exactly a conversation, but it's like a description of your action, like smile dangerously or put your hand on his shoulder and all those type of things.
Yeah, the third person
Yeah.
person writing. Very familiar
Yep.
with it. I hated role playing with people that did that.
Avowed has the entire dialogue system has that.
No. You're serious?
Hold on, let me send you the
Oh.
picture. Let me send you the picture.
Oh
I
man,
have
I
a
feel like
few
my
screen
secondhand cringe is
caps.
already starting up.
Yeah, I have a few screen caps, and I will show it. I'll send it to you by chat.
Okay. No, please no. No. Oh.
The whole game is filled with things like this.
Here, I'll show this to you, chat. I'll read some of these options for the podcast here.
Yep.
Don't make me start counting. Parentheses, put your hand on your weapon and raise your eyebrow. Nod solemnly and leave. Smiles dangerously. Try not to do business with any more assassins. How much was this game? Is it $70? Please tell me it's $70.
Full price game, and this is the AAA experience you have.
Oh, so are we talking $60 or $70 here?
Technically $69.99.
No.
Technically.
Oh. Is this a kids or teen game? I think this is an adult game, chat. I'm pretty sure it's an adult game. It's cringy. I remember seeing Hypnotic make a character that just like looked like an abomination. And people were getting mad because he made an abomination. And he's like, what? I'm just using the tools that the game gave me.
A lot of preset characters. The preset characters, they don't look particularly... They look like clickers from Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Because the whole quirkiness of Avowed is that there's a lot of mushrooms growing on people's faces and heads.
Yeah.
So most of them just end up looking like clickers from Last of Us.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Oh, man. Even though we're having this bad pendulum swing where we have a lot of people being overly anti-woke and more censorship, I kind of hope that we get good games again.
Yes.
I really hope that
Yes.
game studios kick back into gear.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
noticing that too. The pendulum is swinging, and in some aspects it's swinging a little faster than I'm comfortable with as well. Because
Same.
there is
Yeah.
a lot of people in the past always talk to me, Banmin, are you right wing? Why do you always go after the left? And why don't you ever go after the right wing? There's a simple answer I have back then. Who disproportionately monopolizes all the bad behavior in the past years? It wasn't the right. And those who did
Nope.
behave badly in the right are usually ridiculed or silenced. So, what other work can I do? While the left, they do behave the worst way possible, And most of them either they fail upwards or they get praise for their behavior. So of course I'm going to talk about them. But now it's starting to change back again. And some people have been calling me a traitor or something along those lines for bringing it up. But the so-called, the right-wingers or the traditionalists and all those, they have started to behave exactly like the left. And I'm saying, and I'm telling them that they are. And long story short, now they're calling me woke.
Yeah.
They're calling me an SJW.
I've been called woke too.
Yeah.
Some people have called me woke too. It's kind of crazy. Now, granted, it might just be because I'm a Babaniku that leads to that. But some people have been kind of mean, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck? Ain't nobody gonna let you win these days.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
you know what's the funniest thing? John the Rise, he tried to get me mad, and guess how he was trying to make me mad?
How was he?
It would have worked for it would have worked for a regular leftist, but it did not work for me. It's probably too vague. Basically,
really?
he said, "Trump is your president." Cry. He said that.
Does he
know exactly? I don't care about. I have no strong opinion about Trump. That's the thing. If I ever judge Trump, I judge him based on his actions. I don't care about his opinions. I do not care about what he does behind closed doors. It's not. As long as it's legal, I do not care. But and he thinks that is somehow some reason for me to be upset. He's mistaking me for one of those TDS VTubers, probably. TDS and VTube.
Probably.
EN VTubers. Probably.
It's a very big possibility, yeah. I'm just... oh, man. Where do you think that whole movement is going to go? Because we've talked about its origin. We've talked about what we think it could be. Do you think that they're actually going to have any real change brought about?
I think it's just going to be cyclical again. It's like one of my followers said, Lucas said, the 90s is coming back, which means, for better or worse, which means there will always be right-wingers who are being obnoxious, talking about censoring things they do not like, just like the left do. But at the end of the day, they are not very highly perceived by the masses. Right-wingers have a negative reputation for a reason, and that negative reputation is still largely there. Which means those who are trying to mask off so quickly, they are just going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, I like to think of Matt Walsh. I'm sure you're familiar with Matt Walsh.
Yes, I am.
And it's just like he's so out of touch with people. Like, I don't see how he's ever gonna go, how any of these people are gonna gain traction with the people that they should be gaining towards, which is the young people, because the young people are the ones that they should be paying attention to. And instead, they just keep galvanizing people against them. I remember when, what was it? Sonic 3 came out, and Matt Walsh was just like, oh, it was a bad movie. And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean that's a bad movie? These people make no sense.
This is a problem with this so-called right-wingers, or that so-called right wing is the new punk rock type of thing. The whole important thing about being a counterculture is that you create culture that people will accept. And this is something that a lot of these right-wingers are just physically incapable of comprehending. And to an extent, disappointingly so, even Tim Pool.
Yeah, that is very
Tim
disappointing
Pool
because he became the.
Yeah, he's always talking about how we should create culture. We should create culture. Yes, there's all flowery words, pretty words. How are you going to create culture? You don't create culture by attacking things that people like just because you do not like them. You create culture by creating something that appeals to people, especially the young ones. And unfortunately for them, VTubers, anime, video games, those are the core attractions for young people. That is where you should be focusing on to build culture. How are you going to build culture if you're just going to call two of the three or all of the three as too juvenile, too disgusting, too degenerate, or whatever word you want to use to describe it? And remember, there is this phrase that Tim Pool say on one of his streams, and I think it was jealousy in my opinion, but he was basically saying, and I quote, there are big YouTube channels who are the highest super chatted VTubers, anime women going hee hee ha ha playing video games, and it's some fat dude doing it.
Oh.
He basically, that was his Matt Walsh moment. That was his typical anti moment. You would think that someone like Tim Pool, who was like, oh, I'm so counterculture and we're all about punk rock and we're all about skateboard, you would think he would have a better grasp of something like VTubing just a little bit more before having an opinion.
You would hope.
Like that.
You would hope. Wow.
You would hope. And also Kershaw. And Kershaw talked about Breach a lot. She was arguably the first one to bring up Breach. The DI but hidden, basically. And her reports about Breach was so impactful that big accounts started talking about it, like Grums, like Tim Pool as well. And one of Tim Pool's streams, one of his chatters said, will you ever invite Kershaw onto one of your streams? And Tim Pool basically just said, I'm not going to invite some VTuber. So there is a...
Oh, they don't get it.
For the people who claims to be building culture, and they are so for building culture for the new generation, they seem to be very out of touch.
You know, I do believe that I do think for him, there's a part of fear that comes with it, because if he invited a VTuber on, he probably thinks that he's saying goodbye to a good portion of his audience, because he knows that VTubers are a really good way to get information out, and he doesn't want to do that. So if a VTuber comes along and eats up his audience, he knows that's a good portion of his revenue, so he's not going to let a VTuber on. I tell you that. He will never let a VTuber on for that reason. A lot of these big people never will. And it's only just recently like that that VTubers are slowly breaking into the pop culture sphere. I mean, I know that what was it, with side scrollers and then Lumi on Archcast, like all of these
Kai Cenat and Iron Mouse as well. That was
that's a little bit of a different story.
A little different?
I do want to. Well, it's a little different in terms of like breaking into the realm of people that would be on our side in terms of the culture war and trying to spread trying to change the culture for the good. Kai Cenat and Iron Mouse is more of the. Okay, I'm actually curious. What do you think of that that pairing up of having Kai Cenat and his fans be exposed to VTubers through Iron Mouse?
Honestly, in my opinion, if I took this whole thing in a vacuum, as in it's just a stream between Iron Mouse and Kai Cenat being friendly with each other, I find it quite heartwarming in my opinion, because it's you can see both of them actually had mutual respect for each other, and I do like seeing that when that happens. But on the other hand, there is that whole apprehension, I guess, of we have seen it already. All those quote tweets and all those posts about how targeting Iron Mouse by Kai Cenat fans, that is also a big issue that is brewing up because of that collab. So it might not be a satisfactory answer, but I'm quite conflicted about it too. On one hand, I really like the collab in itself, but on the other hand, I am not a big fan of the reactions from the fan bases as a result of that collab.
I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of conflicting for me.
No, I agree. And that's why, like, so my whole kind of opinion stems from the fact that I believe as a community, we have to remember and gatekeep. If you know what I mean, we need to continuously remember to gatekeep our communities, because with Kai Cenat, because Kai Cenat's not the first like big break from VTubing into the normal sphere. I feel like Gura was when she was at the LA Dodgers game. But like as we start seeing VTubers get into these more big opportunities, as they get into more of these big events, we're going to see an influx of attention towards it that we may not be ready for or want, because it's full of people that I do not think would mesh well with the scene, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. We can see a lot of it happening, isn't it? Look at anime and manga, for instance. There's a textbook example of what happens when something gets a bit too mainstream, a bit too popular. All the shonen animes. It is the amount of morally questionable things I see from very colorful individuals online is a perfect demonstration of why some things are a niche for a reason. And there is one very popular saying on Toho, in the Toho fandom, and it's something along the lines of, it's a longer quote, but I'll just tell you the key point. Gatekeeping is the immune system of a fandom. And to a large extent, that is correct.
I 100% agree. I think, unfortunately, and I personally believe that it's been on a small scale. A lot of the stuff we've been seeing, I don't believe we've seen on a big scale just how bad normies can be in the VTuber sphere. Like, a lot of people can pull different examples around of just bad behaviors people have been coming into the VTuber scene, but we are not at the point where it's actually like a gigantic problem, in my personal opinion. We're still like relatively small. So, and I'm not quite sure anybody is ready for the time, like when HoloLive has even more exposure, or we get even more people interested in VTuber. Like, I just don't think that we're ready, unfortunately. I don't know.
It's kind of like the Tower of Babel situation. The higher you go, the more you find out, in a way. And I suspect there is a large chance it's going to happen very soon. soonish. I would say soonish. It's just VTubing, like I said, it hasn't peaked yet. In my opinion, VTubing hasn't peaked yet. There's still a lot of ways to go, and the moment it reaches its peak, I have a bit of reservations that the people who are jumping in on the still quite a niche will have less than pure intentions with it. We've already seen signs of it. The V-tweeters, as you probably already know,
of course,
they're an early symptom of all these problems.
Right. And I guess the question then becomes, what comes after them? I don't know.
I would not know, but ideally, VTubing fractures back into niches, and that will be a cushion blow. But here's the thing though, even if VTubing, let's say, crumbles under its weight and implodes, there will always be niches. It will it's just like a country breaking apart, and what you have after it has broken apart is like small states, small countries from the big one. And I suppose it'll be something like that. VTubing will at one point become off peak, but I don't think it'll ever disappear. And there will still be people who want genuine VTubers, and not those who just are in it for some overly opportunistic intents.
I agree. Well, I think we're already seeing stuff like that with more genuine fans. I think the thing that's really nice, and I try not to refer to it as a community because I know how armchair will be. I think that the VTuber industry as a whole is slowly correcting itself, because we have a lot of people that are in it right now that are slowly realizing what the origins of VTubers are, and if they're not happy with it, they're just slowly weeding themselves out and creating their own niches. And they can create their own niches, but they have to stay there. And I think once people realize that VTubing isn't like a community-based thing, it is literally just a medium that people use to make content. Excuse me. I think once people slowly start to realize that and fracture off into that, that's when things will probably actually start to heal, because then we'll probably get people that will leave others alone, and then it'll move on from there. I think we still have a lot of people that want to treat it as like a big family kind of thing, and it's just like, no. You can't do that. You can't have some of the Western normies put together with the lolicons, because they're just not going to mix very well, and it's going to be very bad. So we need to keep everybody apart, let them make their own tiny communities, like with anime, and let it kind of just go on from there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you say that part about a VTuber community. I think both Armchair and I have 100% in sync on that whole opinion about a VTuber community. And I think Armchair's rejection of it is on a very deep technical level as well. But for me, my rejection of it is purely from my own experience with those who claim to represent a VTuber community. What I'm basically saying is, you see all these VTweeters or all these VTubers who start harassing other VTubers for the wrong avatar, let's say, the wrong model that they do not like. And then they will say something along the lines of, we in the VTuber community should reject this type of thing. And I see how it is. They are using VTuber community as if it's some kind of monolithic little existence where you can speak on behalf of all of them, and most of the time those who do speak on behalf of all of them either are opportunistic or they specifically want to harass someone. And that is what really rubs me the wrong way about the whole idea of a VTuber community. And also along the sides, as what Amchas says, there's no such thing as a VTuber community. There is communities around VTubers. That's how it should be seen.
Agree. I
So-
agree. Well, I consider all of the VTuber corpos to be their own communities. Like you've got the Hololive community, the Nijisanji community, the FaZe community. They are all their own communities, and perhaps you could say that they are all part of the corpo scene community. But like, there is no one community. There is multiple different communities because every single one has distinctly different people, and none of them like each other.
Especially Hololive and Niji. Especially Hololive and Niji in recent times. What's happening in Nijisanji is quite a watch. It really is quite a watch. Back in early 2020s, I had a bigger preference for Niji Sanji than I did for Hololive. By quite a large margin, actually. Yeah, one of my favorite VTubers who has now graduated, but she's back as a different content creator. But you probably might not know her, but I make references to her off and on when I post things. Suzuhara Lulu. She was one of my favorite VTubers.
I've not heard of her.
Yeah, it's a shame that you have not heard of her, but you know of, and I don't know what. I have so many memes of that kind of demonstrate what type of VTuber she was. Maybe I'll share them with you after the stream. But basically, she was my favorite, and she was a Niji Sanji VTuber. And around the time during the Coco incidents, it kind of, at that point, my impression of Hololive was at its lowest. And my impression of Niji Sanji at that point was at its peak, because Lulu, one of my favorite VTubers of that, I enjoy a lot of the Japanese VTubers in Niji Sanji, and I still do to quite a large extent. And I'll look back now and I'll be like, I can't believe how different things have changed.
Yeah. What's been the biggest change from Niji that has upset you the most?
I think it was a slow. My dislike for Niji started around the time when there was it started irking me already, the whole idea when Niji Sanji adopted a throw everything at the wall, see what sticks type of approach to recruitment. And this was especially a big issue when it came to the English branch of Niji Sanji, because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna speak in general, okay? And I'm not gonna talk about any specific VTubers, but it's a behavior. It's a specific behavior I've noticed from good EN Niji Sanji, or at least around 2020 till 2023. And it was the whole idea is that, how do I say it in a nice way? They have become the Amy Schumer of VTubers.
Oh my gosh! I felt my heart in
my opinion,
damn.
okay, I will preface this by saying it's my opinion, but it's not without basis. What I've watched, of course, there are very good EN VTubers back in the day, and very good Niji EN VTubers, and we all know who the very good ones are. But back then, there were also a lot of them whose only appeal were like making sex jokes. You would see tweets after tweets after tweets, consisting of them only making the most uncouth attempts at humor. So that's why I say Amy Schumer of VTubing.
Yeah.
I have a lot
I
of
see what
screen
you
caps
mean
of
now.
them too. I have a lot of screen caps of their behavior as well too. So it is not without evidence. And but of course there was just like, it was off-putting for me. But the point where really it kind of started to really like made my impression drop even more was it started off with the whole Finana incident.
Mm-hmm.
It's public knowledge. But basically, at one point, this VTuber started lecturing her own fan base. It was over I think it was over the word trap. So a lot of people in her chat were like talking about traps, anime traps, those characters.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, she decided it was a good idea to lecture her entire fan base about how this is an offensive term. You should never use it. It is bad. If you use it, you are a bad person. Educate yourself. And that word really set off a lot of her fans. The word educate yourself. And she used it not like as a joke, as a meme, but she used it as if she's condescending towards her own fans. And at that point, I saw the signs. Niji was like,
yeah. I think I remember
let's just
this.
say, yeah, Niji was not showing their best, giving their best impression. Let's just say that. Then eventually, the things with Zion, then the things with Selen, and it just all added up from there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still happening.
I think so I don't really pay attention that much to Niji Sanji because they're such a trash fire that none of us really under the T cares that much about them. But I've just always got the impression that they're just going down and they're just going to keep going down forever until something changes.
It requires a huge restructuring. It needs a reset for it to even have a chance to fix itself.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll happen?
Honestly, I doubt it. It's a non-zero chance it will happen, but it is a very close to zero, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say that?
I mean, I have seen some people talk about Niji and's management, and it's still, to be honest, it's going into rat territory, and I probably shouldn't talk about it. Yeah, I probably shouldn't talk about it. But all I know is whatever publicly we see from Niji and the fact that it keeps happening is evidence in itself that I have strong doubts it will rebound. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I won't pry too much further if you don't want to talk about it. Excuse me. Parrot is never getting out of that mind. Perhaps not, chat.
Anyway, I'm going to take a 1 or 2 minute break, and I will be back shortly. You can chat with my chat or your own chat. Well, I will be back in a few minutes, okay?
Alright, sounds good. While you're gone, I'm going to read my super chats then. Okay, chat. Hello, both chats. I just lost a game of Balatro in the background. Hi, Akko. Hello. All right, let's read some Supa's chat. Venge, by the way, thank you for becoming a member a little while ago. Oh gosh, I think Streamlabs has decided to stop showing me all my viewer activity. That's really nice of them. I'll have to scroll. Gosh, I love it when Streamlabs does that. Let's see here. Mercenary, thank you for the 2. Don't forget, Blue Sky owns everything you post and sues you. Yes. Mercenary again for 2. Joe Cat equals mega beta hypothetical person. Oh, it's so mean. I shouldn't laugh because that is so mean. But also kind of funny. Mercenary again for 2. The issue is incrementalism that caused all this. You would have to specify which, but I'm assuming it has something to do with what we were talking about in now fucking YouTube Studio broke. Fuck. Why? Oh, thank God I saved him. Thank God, thank God. Fire Sky, thank you for the 2. I think it's good that they started early. I'm assuming that Fire Sky is talking about the Goonergate stuff. And maybe it is a good thing that they started early, showing their hand this early. So that it might be a good thing that they started early because maybe it'll be easier to root them out faster. I don't know. Excuse me. Bandman hydrating, yes. Mercenary for 2. Look at all the TV shows in the 90s like ABC shows. You are very correct. Very, very correct. Let's see here. Sly for 5. How many more quick swings of the political pendulum before it crashes and burns? I think it's going to happen for infinitum until the U.S. kind of falls apart, honestly, because it's kind of been this way for the past 200 years, I want to say, and it's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. So until things kind of fall apart entirely, it's just going to be like that. Mercenary for 2. Evidence cam out those shows had LGBT quotas to fill. Evidence cam. I'm assuming you're talking about a TV show that had a DEI quota, and I would believe you on that one. Let's see here. Matt the Beast. I like Shadiversity's take on it, not to be confused with Shadman. Yeah, don't confuse with one with the other. You cannot stop anyone else from making porn/erotic material. You should be in control of yourself if you believe it is bad. And I agree with that one. If you want to make not safe for work material, I totally don't care, and I don't think people should care. And it is really just up to the individuals that don't like it to look away. I've never really been a big fan of people trying to censor that kind of shit because it does not help the conversation. And as I tell these people, it restricts your freedom of speech too, because you can't really restrict one thing without having a cavalcade on so many other different things. So, you know, it is just the way it is. Welcome back, by the way. I noticed that your chat's getting a little...
Yes, I am waiting for you to finish chatting with your chat before I give my chat an earful. They have every time.
Well,
every time I leave for a couple of minutes, I come back to this, to a chat that looks like funny. This. Every time.
Every time. It's very mean of you, chat.
Every single time.
Oh, goodness. Well, I only have a few more super chats here, and then we'll continue on here.
Yeah, go
Wolf
ahead.
Spain for 2. So he... Okay. So he pulled a Zoe Quinn. I'm assuming you're talking about John De La Rose. If I remember correctly, Zoe Quinn did force a guy to suicide with her...
Yes. Which is interesting because I was thinking about that, but I also made a post about it. Basically, John did a Zoe Quinn. That is the long and short of it.
Yeah. That is insane. And he hasn't gotten repercussions from that. That is crazy.
And he pretends he never did it. He pretended he never did it.
Get him on.
And when people show him evidence that he did it, he say that guy deserved it anyway.
Yeah, I can't take seriously people that take those people seriously. It really does show me that people don't care. And like, okay, fair enough, fine. Like, if you don't want to care about these people being snakes, that is totally fine with me. But I then just can't take you seriously if you don't care about these people. So
And
John, did the rice
it's
got
kind of
someone? Yes.
appalling actually is that there's still people who rely on his website for factual information. I think he runs the website Fandom Pulse, and it's kind of
Yes.
surprising to me
I
that
want to say
still
yes.
people still rely on that website as if it will give you factual information.
Mm-hmm. I think what's funny is after the Kingdom Come 2 drama, a lot of people are starting to realize that he is not really the factual news that he purports to be. And I'm expecting some people to just stop working with him for that reason.
And here's a lot of people have refused to work with him as well. Do you know Geeks and Gamers?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the channel Geeks and Gamers?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's run by another Jeremy. He's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and basically last year, or was it 2 years ago? I can't exactly remember, but Jeremy knew exactly the type of person John was. Long story short, John repeatedly begged Jeremy for a collab, and Jeremy basically saying no. At first he politely says no. Eventually, John became a bit too aggressive, and towards one point, it seems that John, this again according to Jeremy, John has personally insulted one of his Jeremy's staff members, and basically everyone in Geeks and Gamers just does not trust him and does not like him. And true enough, it's kind of it's pretty true. It's pretty true what we find out about John right now.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty funny that he kind of knew before everybody else did.
The weirdest thing about John is that he will clap back. The weirdest thing about John is he will clap back at any criticism against him, but in a follow-up comment after his clapback, he will shield his website and his books.
It's almost like he doesn't care.
It's almost like
that.
Yeah. It was almost like, oh my god, hit tweet, donate to me type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just looking for attention. It's that's about it. I think if people recognize that. So, well, the sad thing is some people care, some people don't. So you really have to sit there and recognize that while you can shout out how horrible some of these people are, a lot of people just don't care. And I don't get that. Like, I feel like I am physically missing something. Like, why do people not care about all these scumbags, basically? They just don't appear to.
Yeah, I think of all the times the word grifter has been used, I think the most accurate depiction of grifting or a grifter is John, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People use the word grifter a bit too liberally for it to mean anything nowadays, but I think if there is one time this word deserves to be used, it is to describe what John does. I think we're done with that topic. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was writing something out in the comments. On the topic of grifters, and we'll say this real quick before I finish up these supers here. Who do you consider to like be one of the worst grifters in the space? Like in the pop culture space? Besides John, obviously.
It's gonna be a bit
Hassan?
Hassan.
Interesting.
Okay. I consider him one of the, in my opinion, a peak grifter because of the things he espouses versus the things he does.
Okay.
One thing I have been particularly critical about are those who claim to be socialists, who claims to support communism. And Hassan is the type of person who tries to pretend to be socialist, Mr. Big Moral Socialist, communist, make the rich pay, all that nonsense, says all the fanciest things on his stream to appeal to his communist and socialist supporting audience. And on the flip side, he's a trust fund kid in my understanding. He's a trust fund kid. He has a rich uncle who runs admittedly quite a successful YouTube show, and he has a lot of money himself from his streaming. He is so rich, in fact, that instead of doing what a proper socialist or communist would do, which is to split his earnings at the very least amongst his entire audience. We're not even talking about splitting your money with everyone. Just your audience, your fans is good enough. But he does not do that. He keeps taking his audience money. And what does he use with that money? He buys a Porsche. He buys a mansion in California. He buys shares in a corporation. And he owns gyms. That is very not socialist. Which is why
that's the
I
most
think
capitalist thing ever.
Yeah, that is the most capitalist thing ever, and he does all of this while claiming he's a big socialist champion.
Yep.
Which is why I think he is a grifter. An actual definition of a grifter.
Okay. Fair enough. I would agree with you on that one. He's definitely very griftery with how he acts. So I would agree with you on that one.
I mean, I can have harsh opinions on the idea of socialism and communism, but if there's someone who actually believes what he says, let's say if Hassan, like I say, if he makes money from streaming and he just donates it all either to all his earnings to charity, or splits it among his audience base in like a fund that his audience can get like equal amounts, then I would have respected him, and at least he walks his talk. But no, he's not like that.
No, not one bit. Not one bit at all.
And what's your opinion of someone who fits a definition of a grifter?
Definitely Nick Rekieta. Definitely Rekieta.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, 110% Rekieta.
I have lost
Especially
track
how
of
he
his
came
story.
out and when did you stop paying attention to him? I could give you basically the cliff notes.
I stopped paying attention to him quite some time ago, but I've also recently found out he's back again, doing a lot of very sus things. Let's put it that way. That's all I know. That's the extent I know about him. He's been doing sus things.
Okay. So, from what I understand, he is essentially just kind of there now. He has a plea agreement. He pled guilty. But beyond all that, I'm unsure of anything else that he has been doing. But he has basically pled guilty to everything that happened to him. I believe that because it's his...
Continue.
Oh.
Sorry.
I believe because it's his first time... Oh, no, you're fine. I believe because it's his first time offense, they are going to give him a bit of a lighter sentence, but he still was charged with felonies, I believe.
Okay, just I want to another 6-month sub from... I don't want to call that name out. Please don't make me call that name out, but someone subbed to me for 6 months on Twitch, and the name is very sus.
Very sus.
Very sus.
Chat, how could you do
But
that?
I will just change the name. Bubble Sweat. Thank you for the sub, Bubble Sweat.
No. Oh no.
Okay.
That's funny. Okay.
that is funny.
I'm almost done with my supers here.
Okay.
Mercenary for 2. John claims to live as a Christian. It's just a cloak. I agree. I think a lot of people will use Christianity as a cloak. I think that John is
agree.
one. I think that Melanie Mac
Very
is
much
one.
so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Oh, who else? Yeah, a lot of those people use it as a shield, and it's not a very good one. I saw
It's
Ethan
just
Ralph do
like-
it for quite a few years. I'm
Yeah.
used to it.
It's just like using I am against racism, I am against hate and bigotry. It's the same tactic. They behave poorly and they use good things as a shield to justify their behaviors.
Yep. Pretty much. And it's very unfortunate. Because I know that that's not how Christ works, and I know that Christ wouldn't like it if you did that, so... It's always upsetting to see. It kind of reminds me of the story where Christ actually gets mad at somebody and tips over the stalls in the temple because they're using God's house, and it's always kind of...
Exactly. He's basically
You know.
saying do not use noble things as shields for your immoral and unethical behavior. That's what really gets him mad.
Yep. And I think that's kind of cool. Let's see here. Do guy for fun.
Calcetes
Oh, they're not
1,
gonna
thank you for
stop.
the sub. My god, I have to change the volume of my sub music. It's so loud. I have to change the volume one day.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. And do guy for 20. The milk gives essential nutrients.
Your
Oh my
chat,
gosh, I think I have.
what did your chat say? How dare you? What did your chat just say?
Oh. My chat just said the milk gives essential nutrients. Oh no. Here. Wolf for 5. Zoe Quinn also took the guy's company to make a
Symes
DEI consulting
82,
company.
Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the tip, and I appreciate those kind words. Thank you, Symes 82.
Oh goodness, let's see.
I hope
That's
I'm
right, so
deserving
did
of
you-
such words. Anyway, yeah, I was replying to a don't know I got. Sorry.
Oh no, you're totally fine. You're totally good.
Yep. Yep.
But did you know that Zoe Quinn took over the guy? So when the guy that she knew that she framed that assaulted her, when he passed away, she took his company and turned it into a consulting company that I think it was named after him. So they basically got this guy to end his own life, and then they took over his company.
Yes.
Like insane
I remember
behavior.
that is the type of behavior that people would say hell exists for.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Some
Very
Shambler,
sad.
thank you for the
Very,
tip.
very sad.
Ben, do you mind NSFW art of your model? Draw whatever you want, okay? Draw whatever you want.
This is the best way to do it. Do
Yeah,
it
just-
all.
Just draw whatever you want. I trust you to
Exactly.
have moderation, lurker. Some Shambler.
Amen. Let's see. And we are going to pause the rest of the super chats for now because we've gotten to the end of well, we'll read more
will
at
have
basically
nothing
the end
and
here.
you will write it.
So I will pause the rest of mine for the moment, and we'll come
GK,
back
thank
to
you
them
for
rest later.
the dono.
Hoot evening. I haven't seen an owl VTuber in a while. The last speaking of owl
GK.
VTubers, do you excuse me. Do you remember
Yep.
the one owl VTuber who was like a news guy that only gave positive news?
Oh. No, that one, no. I can't remember that one.
Oh. Well, he was like a news VTuber and he only told positive news. And I always remember that he didn't do a very good job. Well, it wasn't that he did a good job. It's just that nobody really wants to hear positive news. And when you do a show that's all positive news, because people don't really care about that. They care more
It is what it is.
about
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is kind of depressing because is his channel still up?
So I cannot say who, but he
Okay.
has stopped being a VTuber to go become a corpo VTuber, and now he's a corpo VTuber. And I cannot say who he is because obviously
Okay, that's
you
fine.
know we respect.
That is fine. That is
Yeah.
fine. Yep. No need.
But
either way,
it was just really
all
funny.
I can say is it's kind of a shame that positive news does not get as much traction as negative news. It's on one hand it's expected, but it's still kind of disappointing that that is the case. I
Yeah.
would love to read about
Yeah.
positive news often.
Good for him. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, good for him. I'm pretty sure he's a nepo baby, but congratulations to this random guy. Again, I'm not gonna say who it is or where he went, but congratulations to the guy who was able to get in as an industry VTuber. You know, congratulations. But that was an interesting little funny aside because I see an owl VTuber. There is a new person though. There's like a new VTuber that's like doing positive news, and they're like a lemon, and they've kind of been growing pretty steadily on YouTube. Let me see if I can find.
I would
their
follow a
account.
VTuber. That reports on positive news that had a penguin model. I would love
penguin model?
Yep, just a penguin, not an anthropomorphic penguin, a literal penguin.
A literal penguin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
Why penguin?
I love penguins.
Okay.
They're very cute.
Yeah. I think penguins are pretty cute too.
Yeah, there's a word for penguins in Chinese, loosely translated. It's business goose.
I seem to recall that. Yeah, business goose.
A goose that wears a
on.
business suit.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Serial ubiquitous ham. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. I hope I'm worth your time.
Oh, that's funny. Is there a VTuber gimmick that has not been done yet? That's a good question.
Well, there is a
What do you think,
VTuber gimmick that I wouldn't say hasn't been done, but is not getting the attention it deserves. There is a mutual of mine. She is an indie VTuber, but what she does is she does historian things. So it's like You know, armchair historian, she's kind of like an approach like that.
Okay.
But she's not, I would like her to get a bit more like attention also. I think her name is, her name is Pius. And she was one of those who made the video, remember, during the Cleopatra incident?
Uh-huh.
The Netflix Cleopatra story, where Egypt had a big problem with the depiction of Cleopatra.
Oh. The Owl VTuber says they haven't seen a lawyer VTuber. I know a lawyer VTuber. She's actually part of my group. I know one. She's an elf lawyer.
And remember, everything you listen to from lawyers online is not legal advice. It's just opinions, okay? Never take any legal advice. Never take anything as legal advice.
Unless you meet with them privately and pay them, and they are an attorney.
Unless you have a retainer with the lawyer VTuber privately. And they open a file for you formally.
Pretty much. A cast iron... you want a VTuber that's made out of cast iron? What?
Cast iron VTuber.
What? Dinosaur VTubers? There are two. There's, as far as I know, there's like one or two dinosaur VTubers. There's Chio, I think, the Chompy VTuber.
A plasma VTuber. What? Plasma. Yes. That elements that is neither liquid, solid, nor air, nor gas. Plasma. That is so specific.
I feel like we have slime girl VTubers, and that kind of works.
Oh, vending machine VTuber. That's interesting. Cyberpunk 2077 had a quest about a sentient vending machine, so it could work.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's a really cute. It's a cute quest.
I remember that.
It's a cute quest.
Wasn't
really?
at the end like you? It was really cute. Didn't at the end you had to like reset his, brain or something?
That was the taxi quest, I recall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Fair enough.
Inochike, thank you for the 2. Also, long time no hoot, Occo Mama. It's been a while. Yes, the LV tuber saying long time no hoot to you.
Oh. I'm gonna sound like a major asshole, but I'm bad with remembering people. You're gonna have to remind me if you've been a different name or something. Oh, my apologies. You talk about Leaflet? Yes, Leaflet is a slime. I'd like to talk to Leaflet sometime. They're a cool person. Have you ever watched Leaflet a little bit?
Let's see. Yes, Shadow Commander, I am aware that my subscribe alert is a bit too loud, but I probably have to fix that after the stream.
What do you use for alerts?
You really want to listen to it? You want to listen?
No, what I mean is like, what service do you use for the alerts? Do you
Oh,
use, like,
I use
Streamlabs?
Streamlabs, yeah.
Okay. I do believe it's relatively easy to change the volume, so this shouldn't be too difficult, thankfully.
Yeah. Well, I'll do that later. It's not important right now.
Yeah. No. Right now, no.
let's see. Anyway, about you, do you feel too tired with this collab? It should be getting a bit late there, isn't it? Are you fine?
It is 1:30. I was thinking
Okay,
about winding down here soon. I don't have to go to
Okay.
work tomorrow, but I am like exhausted.
Yeah, just lie down on the bed and stream. And you'll see you fall
I have
asleep
considered
live.
that.
See you fall asleep live. I'll be like, Occo, are you
Yes.
awake? And you just silence. Sleeping.
I have like once did a nap while in VR chat, so technically I have done that. Ooh, excuse me. But is there something else you wanted to like round off the night with? We can talk about that before we part ways for the night.
Something else that at the top of my head. It's less of something else specifically, but it's more like some idea that really is kind of I find a bit silly. Remember I talked to
Okay.
you about Avowed, right? And I talked to you about
Yes.
Avowed, and we talked about the bugs. I talked to you about the bugs and all those very poor game design decisions. And the game director, the creative director for Avowed, came out on tweet and on interview saying that I think the game being junky and buggy adds to its character, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I am left questioning. So the game randomly crashes to the desktop in certain quests, or soft locking you from progressing in the quest, having animation issues, and probably even blue screening your computer. Those are quirky bugs that are charming. How does that work? That was
I
what I was
don't
thinking.
believe that's very charming.
Yeah, but it's not very
I
charming
think
at
that's
all.
Yeah, I think that's an excuse to try and pass off how bad their game is. And
Yeah.
they're going to be forced to fix it eventually.
This is what happens when
I
you
don't
have
know.
an industry that prioritizes things like identity instead of choosing the best person for the job description. And you can
Mhm.
see the downward trend of it. It's no coincidence.
No, yeah. And it's very depressing
Yeah.
because there are a lot of game studios that were really good at what they did. And
Yeah.
now it feels like the people that were there that did the good are not there anymore.
Yeah,
mean,
true
like-
diversity is letting
You know
skilled
Bungie,
people.
right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
They've gotten rid of so many good people at Bungie that, like, I don't know how they're going to do anything with Destiny anymore.
And they
I mean,
hire.
like, I've already decided
yeah.
I'm never playing.
Yeah. And that's not even the worst story. Microsoft Studios the Microsoft Studio that's doing Halo, they just hired the person who marketed for Concord, I think. Either Concord or Dragon Age Veilguard to manage their marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how, and
That's not good.
I hesitate to think you know how well Concord and Veilguard performed.
Yep. Not good.
Yeah, Western games industry is very confusing to me because normally if you fail, you're out. But in their cases, if you believe in very specific things or you have very specific physical characteristics, no matter how hard you fail, you always fail upwards. That really is baffling to me.
It is very baffling, yes. Along that same vein, do you believe that China and maybe to a smaller extent Japan is going to take over the games industry because the West is choosing to just flounder?
In my opinion, they kind of already have. I mean,
You think so?
maybe not in a pure numbers yet, but in a pure consumer sentiment perspective, they already have a long time ago. A very long time ago. And it's only a matter of time because economics will always lag behind real-time consumer sentiment. It's only a matter of time when the numbers actually reflect the reality as well. And whenever you hear the word Western AAA games, a lot of people will just frown or look away in distaste because when you hear those words, you already have an expectation it's slop. It's slop of varying levels of poorly made. And if it's not not just poorly made, to be honest, poorly made but also injecting IRL extraneous sociopolitics into them most of the time. So there's this expectation. The consumer sentiment is already set. People have been preferring Asian games over Western games, as at least in the high budget scene, in a high budget context. People would rather play indie or AA right now than to touch any AAA game. That is a fact now.
Yep. I guess the question will be, excuse me, will, as somebody brought up that Japanese companies are slowly taking advice from failing Western companies, do you think that they're going to continue to do that?
For now.
For now, yes.
At the end of the day,
a little bit slower.
At the end of the day, though, Japanese are Asians. If you run a company in Asian, well, basically Asian understanding, you run a company, you're supposed to make money for someone, you damn well make sure you make money for someone or you are out. And at the end of the day, Japan is still an Asian country. The core identity is Asian with Asian sensibilities, which means there's only so much consulting they are willing to trust before they realize it is causing them harm rather than good. So it will keep happening for now, but eventually it will happen less and less until they get abandoned.
I can see that. I can see that. I think that they're going to detach from Western policy. I just hope that, like, one, they detach, and two, they tell the West to screw it when it comes to censorship. I think that's slowly happening.
Yeah, some Asian companies are already doing that, especially politicians in Asia. So there are a few politicians in Japan that are already like, you Westerners come in and impose your worldview on us and expecting us to take you lying down, tough luck. Something like that.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Excuse me.
Lurker just made an interesting point. It's ironic for Korea to make lewd games when they are in the middle of the biggest gender war in history. And it's an interesting point because do you by chance know how gender wars are done in Korea by any chance?
I only know that there is a huge wave of feminism going out through Korea, and it's like being very annoying for a lot of people.
Let's just replace the word annoying and change it with lethal. Okay?
Yes, there's like actual crimes being committed, if I remember.
Basically, the whole idea of the radical feminists in Korea have their Western radical feminists have nothing on the Korean ones. Basically, the whole idea is that some of the most extreme feminists in Korea, they are a very small minority, but they are there. They form roving gangs. They form roving gangs, finding homeless men and beating them up.
Really?
Yes, there have been news about that before.
What started this? Because I've always kind of wondered, like, how did it start in South Korea?
It's quite a complicated story, but long story
Fair
short,
enough.
again you have the West to blame for that. It's always it always goes back to the West.
Gosh damn it. I have to feel bad that my white male privilege turned a whole bunch of Asians against each other.
But it is a wild story, but it's really quite a juxtaposition that despite having such a extreme feminist movement, that Korean games have some of the most attractive characters, male and female. It probably goes to show that these people really are the insane minority, though. They know they are either ignorant of or do not care that their movement creates more enemies than friends.
They just want to hurt as many people as possible, it feels like.
Yeah. And also on the whole point of Westerners, do you know about the recent thing about 2 kick streamers got beaten up by Japanese guys?
Yes, I saw that. And were they actually being a nuisance or were they just being chill?
They
I've
were
heard,
being worse than a nuisance. They were basically harassing one of the guy's girlfriend. So the story about it was they were streaming themselves. They were streaming themselves in a bar. They saw a local lady, and basically one of the streamers noticed that she had some drinks, and basically saying that I want to take you to a love hotel. He said that to her face multiple times. And obviously she is a bit under the influence, but her boyfriend was close by, and her boyfriend at first approached him and say, can you don't say that to my girlfriend. And basically they say he kept pushing, and the streamer said she is my girlfriend. That was like a quote he made, and basically kept harassing the girl and kept ignoring the guy who's saying enough is enough. And at one point, it looks as if that the streamer was about to start a fight with the boyfriend of that girl, but didn't. Eventually, they were kicked out of the bar. And obviously, we know what happened in the video. When they left the bar and started walking, a group of the boyfriend's friends bunched up on them and started beating him up. And people were suspecting that they probably tried to get fresh with a gangster's girlfriend. That's word around internet about
gangster?
it. Yeah, there's a very large chance that they were dealing with a group of gangsters. And imagine that you offend a gangster, not just offend a gangster, but you go after their girlfriend. How would that end up for you? They're lucky to just be beaten up and not worse.
Wow. I think it was World of T-shirts. That sounds about right. World of T-shirts is a lolcow. One that I really don't like a lot. Jeez. I need to look into more random weirdos like that. They all suck. Western pigoos aren't welcome. That's really sad. I really want to go to Japan. These people are going to ruin it before I get there.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. These specific brand of nuisance tourists are ruining tourism for the others who just want to have a good time and explore the culture. That is Very, very shameful behavior. And the fact remains is that Johnny Somali, or as people know him, Ramzi Khalid Ismail, he is back on stream on video again, and he is tripling down his bad behavior. It is very...
Yeah, I did hear that.
It is very shocking behavior.
It's to me, I understand what's happening. And what is happening is the only reason why he's doing this is because it makes him money. And he knows that people are going to pay him to be insane. So he will not stop until he has no more audience. Or he is put in jail. That is the only way it will stop.
Yes, one or the other, indeed.
So, and that is the big sad thing, is because of these IRL streamers, they get attention because of what they do, and they will not stop until people keep them down, basically.
There's a big problem is that Korea almost made Ramzi's life very difficult because his court case is in March. But here's the thing. They took his streaming equipment. All of his streaming equipment were taken at that time, around that time. And he was also not allowed to work at all in the country for obvious reasons. So, and he was not locked up in jail. Because the whole idea was, to Koreans, leave him out without money is tougher than putting him in a lockup where he's fed and has shelter. That was the good idea. And the problem is, Ramzi has a friend in Korea.
Yes.
And the problem is that he takes shelter with his friend. So, kind of ashamed that he could not fend for himself. Lucky him though. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
he's only
as legal
delaying the
mindset
inevitable.
says, his boyfriend Hank. Legal mindset says his boyfriend Hank is funding his lifestyle in Korea.
Yeah. I remember him mentioning that. Yeah, that's really hilarious. Oh, fuck. Don't IRL stream if your chat can't behave. No, chat, here's the thing. Don't allow the insanity of people yelling shit in chat get you in trouble. Like, don't do what your audience tells you to. Like, if people pay you money to do stupid shit, just don't do it. Oh. He's a CIA psyop. That's way too deep for me. That's way too, like, chat, I like conspiracy theories, but that's a little way too deep for me. That's like 1 or 2 steps past the gay frogs. I don't know. Anyway, it is 1:45. I need to go to bed soon. What I was thinking is I have a few more super chats here. I was thinking I could end the call and I could finish reading them, and you could continue on throughout the rest of your night if you would like. Give her a moment. Excuse me.
Anyway, I was on mute the whole time. I'm so sorry. I was talking and I realized I was on mute. Yep. Anyway, I want to say before you hang up, it was a very, very nice chat we've had.
Of course, I deeply enjoyed
it. I really enjoyed it. It was nice, relaxing chat and just yapping about, gossiping like aunties. Yeah.
Listen. I started the podcast with Mizu and Lumi because I enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. It brings me such mirth And I also, while I personally don't believe that like drama talking is like going to massively change the world, it's just fun. And
Yeah.
I also like studying the human condition, so I do enjoy talking about it. And I did
Indeed.
enjoy tonight as well. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
have to do
did.
this
I
again sometime
enjoy.
in the future.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. Just let me know when you wanna do another one.
For sure,
And
for sure. And I
anyway,
might have to bring you on the podcast at some point.
yeah, and watch out for Ramsey's case in March. Is probably going to be an interesting one. I think the Koreans are
will be.
not happy with him, and that's an understatement.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway, you should go to sleep soon. It's pretty late there, as you say.
I will.
Yep.
I will. I'm gonna read the rest of my stupas and then I will head to bed.
Yep. Anyway, it has been a pleasure, Occo.
Same to you.
And we will be in touch. Take care.
All right. You have a good one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Take care. Have a good one. Sleep well.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Okay. So that's the end of the collab. I hope you enjoyed it, lurkers, because I certainly enjoyed the chat. I hope you enjoyed it. Any feedback? Any feedback you all have for the collab? Any feedback at all? No feedback is good feedback. That's good. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I will, before I let you all off, I will update you all right now. Like I said at the start of the stream, I will update you all right now about my stream schedule. So please don't mind me for a moment. I will let me just open this. Let me open my PowerPoint, my faithful and faithful PowerPoint. Then, okay. There we go. Okay. So, what I will be doing right now is my stream schedule. I already have dates. Lined up, so just listen up, okay? For the rest of Feb, I will have one on the 21st. Yeah, 21st. Usual time, and one more, it'll be on the usual time, and one more will be on the 28th. It will also be 8 p.m. and this one will be a collab. I suspect it will be, okay? I suspect it will be a collab. So for the rest of February, I have 2 more streams lined up. The first one will be this coming Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. The first one will be this coming Friday on the 21st of February. The second one will be next Friday, and it will be with, you'll find out soon enough, but you probably know already. Yeah, it's with Rat. Rat is having I will let him know actually. He asked me whether I was interested, and I might as well tell him right now. Yes, I'll likely be able to make time for that specific time slot. So I will tell him about that. Yes, that's the right time. That is definitely the right time. I can make time for 28th. So this is basically confirmed for now, okay? And knowing Rat, it probably will be TF2. It probably will be TF2. But I hope there won't be too much copyrighted music like last time. And Red is not here because he's also streaming and gaming right now. But please, I'm letting you know I'm likely able to turn up for it. Okay, Red? And I should also leave a message for him telling him I can come. I can come over. Okay. It's a different game. It's a different set of games. Lurker John. He told me it's a different set of games. It is something different. Okay. So that is all. That's the takeaway. Remember. Remember these dates. And I will see. Okay, another thing, one more thing. This one will be on YouTube, and this one will be on Twitch. And I hope you will appreciate why I prefer the 28th one to be on Twitch, because as with the previous game collab I had with Red, I am afraid of copyrighted music. So I will provide you all a proper announcement post on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook and Twitter. Either today or tomorrow. But this is just a advance warning. Advance FYI. Okay? So with that out of the way, that concludes tonight's today is today. That concludes today's stream with Collab. How many hours have we done already? Do you lurkers know how many hours has it been? Close to 4, almost 4. Okay. Close to 4 hours. That's a very good time. Okay. Anyway, I will conclude the stream already. And I will see you all on Friday. Okay? See you all on Friday, everyone. Ken Summers, thank you for the sub. I will lower the volume of it. Rest assured, it is way too loud. I am aware of that. And I'll see you all on Friday. Okay? It has been a pleasure talking to you all, and it has been a pleasure talking with Occo. She's also wrapping up the stream, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, thank you for everyone dropping by to tonight's stream. It's a bit of an odd time for the Asians, but I like to think it's a pretty good time for the Westerners. So take care, everyone. Okay, take care, everyone, and have a good day or a good night.